Welcome race fans to Jukasa Motor Speedway, the crown jewel in Canadian short track racing. This is a track rich in history with a very bright future. This afternoon we see the APC United Late Model Series in their first round of 5 here in 2020. This afternoon, we'll also see the OSCAAR Modifieds, brought to you by Queenston Chevrolet, and the Nightwork Designs OSCAAR Hot Rods. I'm Greg Kellman. With me, as always, is Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey. And to fill you in about the APC Series, here is their tour announcer, Jamie Maudsley.
Well, back a couple months ago, it didn't look like this was a possibility, but the APC Series has done a lot of work, and we are here today at Jukasa Speedway for round number 1. The APC Series basically came about in 2015 when a number of tracks that were running late models got together under one banner. They found APC Auto Parts Center, headquartered out of London, as a sponsor, with about 40 corporate stores throughout Ontario. APC since then has developed this program into the top late model series racing in Ontario. The best of the best race here, and the competition level is off the chart. 5 different seasons so far. 5 different champions. We've got 32 of the finest pro late models here at Jukasa Speedway to do battle here this afternoon. It's round 1 of the 2020 APC United Late Model Series Championship, brought to you by Grisdale Racing Enterprises and Pennzoil. Throw it to my other colleague down here, Clint Jeffries.
Thanks a lot, Jamie. Well, also here at Jukasa are a couple of other divisions. We've got the OSCAAR Hot Rods and the OSCAAR Modifieds. The open wheel stars of Ontario are going to do their best to go at it here today. And then you've also got these beautiful vintage OSCAAR Hot Rods. They are one of the fastest growing divisions in Ontario. They're going to put on a heck of a show here today, guys.
2020 has definitely been an unusual race season. Here we are, August 8th, and it's opening day for the APC United Late Model Series here at Jukasa Motor Speedway. It's going to be a 4-event schedule, 2 of them here at Jukasa, where we open the series and close the series next month in September. Trips to Flamborough Speedway and Sauble Speedway, but the action is going to be intense, and you can catch it all right here on GForceTV. It's going to be a lot of fun.
When we come back, we're going green flag racing. It's the APC Series on GForceTV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
I'm Adam Ross, and I sell Hino trucks. If you need a commercial truck, or if you work for a company that needs a commercial truck, email me, aross@mtg.ca. I'm a sales rep for Metro Truck Group, and I sell Hino trucks.
Your brakes are the most important safety device on your car. Look at this brake pad. Not even a year old. The steel is rotting. It's fallen apart. This is an accident waiting to happen. And this is what they looked like just a couple of months ago when I installed them. Brake pads shouldn't be glued or painted. Glues don't hold up. And paint? That just chips away. Now, there's a better way. Brake pads equipped with galvanized steel NRS technology. Their hooks grab the friction material and won't let go. They're quiet, they're corrosion proof, and they last longer. They're nearly indestructible. Nothing in your brake system is glue. Your brake pads shouldn't be either. Choose NRS with galvanized steel. But hey, it's just your brakes we're talking about.
Thanks, guys. This is your Nrs Brakes Tech Tip. This is the OSCAAR Hot Rod division. They can be any bodies from 1954 to 1974, original steel body as they came from the factory, and they must have these, the old chrome horn, guys. That's what you need to get it done here in the OSCAAR Hot Rods. It's going to be amazing. These steel body cars with real bumpers. We have some amazing makes and cars here today, guys.
Thank you very much, Clinton. Great work as always down there, and we'll hear from Clinton Jeffrey throughout the afternoon here at Jukasa Motor Speedway as we get set for our first racing action of the afternoon, the Nightworks Designs OSCAAR Hot Rods, who got things kicked off a couple of seasons ago and have continued to come back with more and more impressive rides in the field each and every time we head to a different racetrack. They compete on asphalt and on dirt. They've had a couple of races down at Brighton Speedway and some beautiful machines out there ready to go with their 30-lap event here this afternoon at Jukasa Motor Speedway. We want to welcome you once again to GForceTV as we bring you the APC Series on GForceTV. I'm Greg Kellnan up here in the booth along with Adam Ross, and down trackside Clinton Jeffrey will do all the reporting from the pits. And down in Victory Lane here, beautiful sunny afternoon just outside of Cayuga, Ontario.
Rick, let's give you the starting lineup for the OSCAAR Hot Rods. On the pole out of London in a 1969 Chevelle. Dad's Discounted Auto Parts Depot and Supply Gen 7 Fuels sponsors the 10K of J. Door. On the outside of row number 1 in the 8 Senior. From North Bay, it's a 1974 Maverick. Sponsored by Junior's Tire, Adams Graphics, Mudd's Garage, it's Paul Sr. Row 2 on the inside from Toronto. This is a Javelin. Peterbilt Race Cars. Heidi's RV Center, Top Shop Paint Supplies sponsor the number 6 of Scott Beatty. On the outside of row number 2 in the number 1 out of Sundridge, it's a 1965 Comet. Cannonball CNC Signs and Design, number 1 of Jim Blackwell. Rolling off 5th from Oro Medonti, it's a 1966 Pontiac Beaumont. Nrs Brakes, Fox's Bakery and Deli, Nightworks Design sponsors the number 2 of Tyler Hahn. Starting 6th on the outside of row number 3 from Stroud, the 1969 Rambler Ambassador. Redline Apparel, the Bakers. Sponsors on this machine, it's Stompin' Tom Walters. Starting 7th from Mount Forest in a 1974 Nova, John's Towing sponsors the 00 of Bill Clark. Rolling off on the outside of row 4 from Brantford, it's a 1960 Studebaker Hawk, sponsored by Lafarge Refractory Removal Services, APC Auto Parts Center. Number 47 is Steve Book. Starting 9th from Bradford, 1969 Chevelle, 1-800-Drywall.ca sponsors the X car of Adrian Foster. The 88 from North Bay, 1968 Chevelle, JM Painting sponsors this car. It's Jeremy McLean in the 88. In row number 6, it's Nick Clark out of Teeswater in the 86. The 0 is Trevor Thompson. 21 is Dan Rothwell. The 66 is Bob Parsons. 08 is Paul Boundy. The 26 is Dalen Martin. 44 is Darcy Gribben. The 7 is Matt Young. And rounding out the field is the 12 of Ryan Cowan. And we'll bring you some of the sponsors on those cars as the race goes on, as we're about to complete lap number 1. Jay Dorr with the advantage.
He's got the lead over Paul Sr. on the outside line, hanging out there. A little puff of smoke out of the back of the 10 as they went down in corner 1. And here comes Tyler Hahn. He's been very successful in this hot rod division. Aboard car number 2 as they go down in turn 3.
On the inside of Paul Sr. He'll drive it deep down into 3 and 4. Clear that number 8. Now let's see if he can close in on Jay Dewar. There's another car to watch for. That familiar yellow and black. Number 47 is Steve Book.
Book's right there in that 5th spot, gaining ground right now on the 00 of Trevor Thompson as they work it down into corner number 3. Book on the bottom, Thompson on the outside. Coming down to complete lap number 3.
Couple of 47s we'll want to keep our eye on. Steve Book, and right behind him, Stompin' Tom Walters in that 47W machine. That's a pretty looking race car Tom Walters has brought out as Steve Book to the outside of Paul Sr. He's looking for that 3rd spot.
There's what we talked about in our pre-race show qualifying for the APC Series on Facebook, is that outside line will work here at Jukasa Motor Speedway. This is not a one-trick racetrack. You can use different lanes and different looks at the corner to make passes, and Book is really getting it done. He charges down to the inside of Hahn in corner 3.
Is he ever? Steve Book is on his way to the front from the center of the corner off, just getting incredible drive in that 47, and he clears Tyler Hahn. But look at this, the top 6 cars all still right in the running together.
Here comes Book now behind leader Jay Dewar as they work into the third corner, coming down to complete the 6th lap. As they work it off corner number 4 and across the stripe, it's Dewar, Book, and Hahn, 1, 2, and 3.
As we follow the action, I want to get you some of the sponsors that we missed in the starting grid there. Going back to Jeremy McLean in the 88 machine out of North Bay, sponsored by JM Paint and Cabral Racing Promotions. The 86 of Nick Clark, it's a 69 Ford Mustang, sponsored by John's Towing, Arctic Clear PW Auto Sales. The 0 is Trevor Thompson out of Elmira, 1971 Camaro, Elmira Harvey Swiss Chalet, Rural Roots Brewing Company, Bridgeland Terminal sponsorship. As Steve Book closing in on the back bumper of Jay Dewar in the 10. He has a look to the inside out of turn 4.
Trying to get a good run down in the corner. He'll tuck back in line down in corner number 1. So it's Dewar and Book, 1 and 2. Book with a good run off that second corner. Can he get the run down into corner number 3 this time? No, he'll once again slide in behind the 10 car.
Sort of shadowing Jay Dewar out there. Remember, Steve Book probably has as many laps around this racetrack as anybody out here. A long-time driver in the Thunderstocks. What were they called back then? Thunder cars, I guess. Steve Book, Ralph Book. Fixtures here at Jukasa now. He sticks a nose to the inside of Jay Dewar down into turn 3 and 4. Backed out of it going into the corner. Let's talk to you a little bit more about some of the other entries. Dan Rothwell in the 29, it's a 69 Chevelle. Bob Parsons out of Woodstock, a 64 330 Dodge sedan, sponsored by Braniff Trucking, Ltd. Cambridge, Transaxle Truck and Trailer Parts Cambridge. The 08 of Paul Boundy, sponsored by Boundy Roofing, Mark Rainford Auto Center, it's a Chevelle, and he's out of Grafton. The 26 of Dalen Martin is from Brussels in a 1957 Ford Fairlane. Sponsored by Leslie Motors, Martech Custom Fab, Martin Automotive Restoration. Then in the 9th row, started it in the 9th row is, trouble in turn 4. We've got one around backwards just in front of the race leaders. With Dalen Martin in a 57 Ford Fairlane. The 44 of Darcy Gribben from Hillsdale and a 71 Plymouth Scamp, sponsored by Fox's Bakery, Top Shop Paint Supplies. The 7 of Matt Young is out of Troy. It's a 68 Chevelle, Blue Street Contracting, Rangeview Fabricating, those sponsors. And my favorite sponsor of the day, Greg, car number 12, Ryan Cowan out of Port Perry. It's a 1968 Camaro, sponsored by Overtime Pay and Elbow Grease.
Things you and I have never done. Or had?
Well, that's not entirely true. Sometimes if I really get into what I'm doing, like a buffet, things happen quick at a buffet, and you reach for something, all of a sudden you're greased up to the elbows.
And you're more than willing to put in the overtime at a buffet.
It's a risk I'm willing to take. Risk versus reward, my man.
So it was the 21 of Dan Rothwell that went around in corner number 4, but it looks like no harm, no foul. He'll tag on to the back of the field and will rejoin with 10 laps complete and 20 to go for the Nightwork Designs OSCAAR Hot Rods. Some absolutely beautiful machines in this division, and there comes a point where you start to wonder in motorsports, how many more divisions do we need? But when they brought this one in, man, it took off, it flourished. Everyone is attached to it in some way or another because these cars look so cool.
You are so right. You know, what racing didn't need was more divisions, but it needed this one.
Yep.
This was just a great idea. And folks, we'd love the comments. Keep them coming. Even the ones that aren't so friendly about our production, that's all right. We'll take the good and the bad, and we'll probably make fun of the people that make bad comments because they deserve it. But tell us who you're watching with. Tell us where you're watching from. I've heard of a number of parties being set up for people to get together and take in the races. And I've got to tell you, Greg, from everything that we've seen here today, I mean, people are wearing their masks everywhere you look, being responsible. The crews are sort of staying to themselves, doing everything we need to do to to be able to get back to normal racing. We're a little ways to go yet, but thank you to everybody who's watching impatiently from home. We want you to be out to the racetrack. Thank you to the people who were in the grandstands being responsible with us here today, and thank you, of course, to Luke Ramsey and APC and Alex Nagy here at Jukasa Motor Speedway.
Damon Boyko asking, are there any drivers from Windsor in the field today? I know there is one for sure of the APC Series, Ray Morneau in the 03, the APC United late model, so he'll be competing a little bit later on. Put down some fast laps in qualifying this afternoon. Field being called to double up, and we're going to do something that we started at Merrittville Speedway a couple of weeks ago. We're putting our own swing on it. We're going to go full force. We're going to give you a bit of a feel of these cars coming up to speed. We've got some cool shots around the track and let you see the sights and hear the sounds of the Nightwork Designs OSCAAR Hot Rods. Field pacing behind the Queenston Chevrolet pace car. That beautiful Camaro takes them down the back stretch with 20 laps left to go. White flag will come by this time. Next time we'll go to green flag, and we'll let you hear these cars and the speed shot. Pretty cool here at Jukasa Motor Speedway this afternoon. Lights set to go off on the pace car.
You know, what's fascinating to me here at Jukasa is you don't realize how fast everything is going on the racetrack. You were here last year for the big hot rod crash on the back straightaway. It looked like a super speedway accident. Cars just couldn't get slowed down, and they'd pile into the crash. There was debris everywhere. You just don't realize how fast they're going until they need to try to slow down.
Oh, Taylor, truer words have never been said. Adam Ross is a truck salesman. Don't trust a word he says.
I can't argue with that. You can trust me. Fran, here's something for you. Ralph Book still goes to work every day. Ralph Book is still very active, still going to work, putting in his time. Just a great fella.
Let's go full force on this restart. Well, it didn't take long for Steve Book to take advantage of that restart and jump out ahead, and boy, he pulled away quickly from Jay Dewar.
Yeah, you know, there's still a lot of racing to go, and one thing I found particularly with these hot rods, Greg, if you're really fast at the beginning of the race, you could be in trouble later in the race. These are heavy race cars.
Jay Dewar right now trying to hold off the challenges of Trevor Thompson in the 00, and there's a good battle going on from about 5th on back. Paul Sr. is back there in the mix along with Tyler Hahn, Scott Beatty, and Jim Blackwell.
Blackwell now trying to get a nose to the inside of Hahn. Sort of pinned in behind Beatty as well as they race down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Just so much room out there.
So Steve Book, your leader. Second right now, Jay Dewar. Third is where we find Thompson in the 00. That's Trevor Thompson. And Stompin' Tom Walters right behind him in the 4th spot. Paul Sr. back in 5th and pretty much single file there. Then that's where things kind of shook up behind them as positions continue to change.
Stompin' Tom is working some different lines. He's taking a wide arc into the turn, cutting down the banking. I think he is faster than the 2 cars ahead of him, just sizing things up right now. As I say that, he kicks the car loose in turn 4, trying to cross over the Blackwell 00. I'm sorry, the Trevor Thompson 00. Blackwell's close into 1.
Thompson now takes a look to the inside and Dewar. Whoa, close call down there. Corner number 3 tucks back in line. That's a close call between the rear and front bumpers there between those two cars of Dewar. And now here comes Walters trying to find an advantage on the pair of them and just dispose of this battle.
See that? He drives deep in the corner trying to cut down and make the straightaway longer coming off the turn, but still not getting quite as good a run as Trevor Thompson in that 0-0. And Thompson gets a little bit loose. That allows Walters to the inside out of 4.
Yeah, he left the barn door wide open. Here comes Walters down to the inside looking for the third position. He'll kind of dog track it into the corner, got it a little sideways, and they stay side by side down the backstretch.
Walters really took a low line into turn number 1. I'm surprised he wasn't right up on the driver's door of the Thompson 0-0, but he clears him in turn number 4, and let's see if he can close in on Jay Dor. Oh, we got one going up in smoke down in 1 and 2. Everybody checks up. Yeah, fluid on the racetrack. You could see cars sliding up.
Dan Rothwell, he was the cause of the first caution with a spin, and this will be a bigger problem for Dan as he comes to a rest down to the inside of corner number 2 and that number 21. Driver in that 1969 Chevelle. Hails from Sundridge, and looks like his afternoon could be over.
Let's have a look at this replay down in the corner. He is actually off our screen on the bottom right. And you'll see the heavy smoke, cars coming up the banking, and then when he loops it around there, I can only assume he looped it in some of his own fluid. Here goes Dave Hunsinger and the cleanup crew.
Yeah, the cleanup crew will have some work to do down there depending on how much fluid, but that car partway through corner 1 started to erupt, and I'm sure the crew will be busy. You can see them from our angle here in the booth. They've already laid down the speedy dry right there into the entrance of corner 1.
Yeah, they're not shy. The way that truck is, and when they go out there, they put a good 3-foot wide strip of oil dry down there. Then they'll run through it with brushes. They do a thorough job. Clinton Jeffrey is on the infield. He's got a report for us.
This guy's just following up on the Gressel deal. The Gressel originally had issues with air pressure. The car was too low, didn't pass tech, had to come back around, and then they found a broken shock on it. Once they replaced that, it had to come back through tech again. So that's why Andrew Gressel didn't make time trials here today, guys. That's the report from the 81 pit.
Yeah, that was a story we were watching during qualifying earlier on this afternoon, as now the field has come to a stop on the backstretch as they continue to work at cleaning up the racetrack down in corners 1 and 2. Here at Jukasa Motor Speedway, thanks for joining us on GForceTV. Again, the OSCAAR Hot Rods on the track now, Modifieds to follow, and then we'll bring you the Dayco 75 presented by Pennzoil for the APC United Late Model Series. Their first race of 2020. We'll be back at it in a couple of weeks. The APC Series of the Sauble Speedway on August the 22nd. Looking forward to that one. And then we'll be back with APC at Flamborough Speedway on September the 12th, and we'll conclude with a Twin 75 show for the same series right here at Jukasa Motor Speedway on September the 26th. So there we see Dan Rothwell's number 21 getting the push into the pit area.
Yeah, disappointing end to his day. Such a long off season for these drivers, and to come out and have trouble. I was really impressed myself, Greg, after the practice sessions. We had modifieds, late models, hot rods. I don't think the tow truck was required for anything with the exception of a couple of inspections of the racetrack.
Yeah, so far so good, and the crew continues to work down there, and that'll take a bit of a cleanup here, I believe, to get everything dried up down there, as it was quite the plume of smoke that came out of the 21 for Dan Rothwell.
It seems to me that before the days of crate motors, there was a lot more blown engines. And maybe that sounds like a dumb thing to say, but do you remember you'd call a race 15 years ago, and there was someone going up in smoke in every feature? The crate engine has really been a wonderful thing. Let's take this opportunity, folks, to take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side and continue with the OSCAAR Hot Rods.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Ribs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
Second brake job this year. The pads are falling apart. See that edge lift?
Yeah,
Causes brake noise.
it's not safe either.
No. So I'm installing these. NRS equipped pads. They've got hundreds of steel hooks that bite into the pad and bond it to the plate. No more brake noise. And in 3 years, you'll still have a solid brake pad down there and not some rusted out pile of shit.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GForceTV. Welcome back to Jukasa Motor Speedway on GForceTV this afternoon, bringing you the APC Series and their Dayco 75 presented by Pennzoil. A little bit later on in the afternoon, on track right now, the Nightwork Designs OSCAAR Hot Rods, as we are under a delay as they are cleaning up after a bit of a motor explosion down in corners 1 and 2. Plenty of fluids on the racetracks. The safety crew, you can see down there cleaning things up down in 1 and 2, and the cars stopped on the back stretch momentarily before we get this thing started again with 20 laps complete, 10 laps left to go. Take a look at the running order under this break. Steve Book leads the way in the 47. Jay Dewar in the 10K is second. Trevor Thompson third right now in the 00. Tom Walters in fourth. He's in the 47W. The 8SR, Paul Sr. is in 5th. 6th is where we find Scott Beatty. 7th, car number 1 of Jim Blackwell. In the 8th spot, Tyler Hahn in car number 2. Back there in the 9th position, the 86 of Nick Clark, and completing the top 10 is Bill Clark in number 0. In 11th, Adrian Foster in the X Machine. 12th position, Jeremy McLean in the 88. 13th, Paul Boundy in the 08. 14th, Dalen Martin in the 26. In 15th, Matt Young in the 7. 16th, the 66 of Bob Parsons. 17th is Dan Rothwell. That's where he'll be scored after having the issues down in corner number 1 and 2. Ryan Cowan's 18th in the number 12, and Darcy McGibbon 19th in the 44G, and he is multiple laps down left early in this one, as did Ryan Cowan back there in the 18th spot. So that's a look at the live running order for the Nightwork Design OSCAAR Hot Rods in their first race of the 2020 season. I'm Greg Kelman. With me, Adam Ross here in the booth, and we're going to send it down trackside to Clinton Jeffrey.
Thanks, Greg. Just want to mention this is our Queenston Chevrolet Tech Tip here for the Modifieds. They'll be the division here racing the big thing. No fenders here. That means these tires are wide open. You touch rubber, you got big probs. They've also got these beautiful noses. Lots of gorgeous handiwork done here as they try and get the air on this big 5/8 mile track right up here over. Small windshield, as you can see, beautiful craftsmanship here on the Queenston Chevrolet Modifieds.
Yeah, they're an exciting division to watch, Clinton. I'm excited to see them. They'll be up next and always put on a good show here at Jukasa Motor Speedway. The folks at OSCAAR do a fantastic job with all of their divisions. We'll get to see their pro sprints a little bit later in the year as well.
We've had this conversation before, Greg, but what do you think is the best race you've ever seen on this new Jukasa Speedway?
It's probably not going to be the one that you think because you weren't here that night. The first night that I got to see the ROC Modifieds here, that was an excellent show. It was.
I think I was here.
Were you here?
I think I was here, but not working, and I agree with you. The top 5, the restarts were amazing. The racing was fantastic. That was an exciting race.
And the OSCAAR Modifieds, I'm definitely sure will put on a similar show because they definitely can get hooked up on this racetrack, and going to be an interesting one coming up following this one for the Hot Rods.
So here's something interesting as well. Again, stats. Sometimes when you've got some downtime, you've got to pull out all your tricks. So Steve Book, his fastest lap was a 20.88, which is the fastest lap out there. But Tom Walters and Paul Sr. have both been real close to those. In fact, Trevor Thompson as well. So they've all shown moments of great speed, and we are on lap 18. Well, we're actually on lap 19, 18 laps complete. Everybody in the top 6 just turned their fastest lap in the last 5 or 6 laps. So these cars are getting faster.
Yeah, I think things could change here, especially on this restart. We'll see what happens. It was that previous restart that really gave Steve Book the launch that he needed to get going. And he was the fastest car in those first 10 laps, so it was no surprise to see him take off. But we'll see what this restart does. As now Matt Young has some problems up in corner number 2, can't get the number 7 fired. So
we got a few cars parked here and there. The 86 is just pulled in. Nick Clark is in the infield area. The crew is having a walk around that car to assess things. We've got one stopped on the back straightaway, one barely rolling in turn number 3.
Yeah, Bob Parsons down in the back stretch there gets a push from Ray's Towing. And there sits Matt Young in the Blue Street Contracting number 7.
Once again, we've brought our A-team out here. We got Greg Boydell in turn number 1 overseeing that action. Right now we're looking in the infield. Is Ryan with Clint today? Shooting on the infield?
Yes, I believe it is.
Chris Hawkins is up on the roof. Sorry, Maverick is with Clint.
Oh, okay.
Shooting down in the infield. Chris Hawkins up on the roof, getting us those great shots. And Ryan is in turn 3 on the scaffold. Okay. And I just realized where they get their power from in turn 3. It's my pickup truck sitting right beside the camera. I feel so used.
Your truck's been used a lot in our broadcast. And it's been in some very dangerous zones.
Well, I'm not that smart, but yeah, anything we can do to help. And yeah, Steven, I'm with you. Love the comments, and let's ask Spencer that. Spencer, while we're under yellow, can we get the camera people to try to go car by car through the field? Even start at the back if you want to, because we've seen the cars at the front, and these are they're beautiful race cars. And what I find beautiful about them, Greg, is they're not meticulously prepared. Like when I was down looking at these cars in the pits, the tin work on the interior of these cars isn't as clean as we see on some of the late models out there. But to me, it's true to form. We're having a great look here. There's Tyler Hahn in the number 2 machine. I'm trying to bring up my roster here. I got too many windows open on my computer. But these cars are very much true to the era that they came from. Jeremy McLean in the 88, just having a look at that car. 08, Paul Boundy. Good looking equipment out here. So folks, make requests. We try to do what we can.
I believe this time may see the white flag, not sure. As the 86 machine now will make its way back out of the pit area as we saw the work going on Nick Clark's car. White flag is displayed, so the lights go off in the Queenston Chevrolet pace car.
Steve Book electing to start on the outside. I don't blame him. I've been amazed at how well drivers can run through oil dry. Because I can only draw from my experience, Greg, but when I raced, and I raced a hobby car, speedy dry was the devil. Oh my goodness! I might as well have closed my eyes and hoped. You drive into it and hopefully you come. These guys seem to have such great control through it. It's really amazing.
All right, pace car pulling off in corner number 3. We're coming back to the green flag. It's 20 laps on the board, 10 laps left to go. Steve Book was the leader, restarts on the outside and gets a good start on Jay Dewar heading into corner 1.
And I think that good start's going to be even better as Dewar gets the left side tires down into the oil dry. That allows Trevor Thompson on the outside in that 00 to get a good run. Man, oh man.
Scott Beatty got a good run as well in that nice-looking blue, white, and red number 6 as they work it off of corner number 4 and across the stripe. 22 on the board. 8 to go.
Jim Blackwell as well making some aggressive moves here on that restart. The battle for third is intense. Jay Dewar in that beautiful 10K. Now he's going to drive it deep down into turn 3, try to protect that spot. Wow. Stompin' Tom gets all sorts of crossed up in turn 4.
Yeah, he had to gather that car up in a hurry. A beautiful number 47W for Stompin' Tom Walters hanging on the outside, trying to get into the top 5 before this one's over.
And he's been as high as third, I want to say, as the yellow flag is out.
Debris is the culprit of this. I know how much you hate that term.
I just don't get it.
There are particles on the racetrack.
That's stuff. Why do we have to be so fancy?
All right, they're coming right back to the white flags. So it's a quick caution to pick up the debris. It's up there in corner number 4, it looks like. Safety crew will grab that. Field doubles up behind the Queenston Chevrolet pace car, and the white flag will be displayed this time across the line with now 7 laps left to go. Make that 6 as the scoreboard changes over. 6 to go. And this time, Steve Book's got a new driver to restart with. The previous 3 restarts were all with Jay Dewar. Now we see that 00, Trevor Thompson down to the inside.
Trevor Thompson, again, these guys have shown different speeds at different times. Stompin' Tom we watched show great speed, but get super loose in turn 4. You lose that momentum, it affects you for almost a full lap here and really allows the competition to close in and make different moves. If I have to say, I would say one driver who's been real conservative so far is Jay Dewar in that 10K. It doesn't look like he's wanted to put that car at any risk. Does he change his mind over the final laps of this one?
All right, scoreboard back to 23, so it looks like it will be 7 to go. Green flag is out, and Book once again gets another good start. Things kind of bottled up, in fact, behind Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson did not get a good start there, did not get up to speed. Look at the run on the outside by Jim Blackwell.
Wow. On the outside, 3 wide down the backstretch. He moves to second in the third corner. Thompson back to third, and here comes Stompin' Tom on the inside.
Normally it is a dirt track expression, but Jim Blackwell just went high, wide, and handsome on the outside to make a 3-wide pass for the second spot.
And he's trying to track down Steve Book. He's at least got him in his sights. This time by it'll be the big high five as close calls near the back.
Yeah, that was the Zero machine that just about slapped the outside wall. Bill Clark, I believe, out of Mount Forest.
5 more trips around for Steve Book as they run it through 1 and 2. Blackwell back there in second. Thompson running third. Then it's Walters fourth as they work it down in 3 another time.
Paul Sr. drives up the inside of Jay Dewar into 3 and 4. He's going to clear the 10 machine off the corner, but Jay Dewar fighting back on the outside. Paul Sr. could have pulled up in front of Jay Dewar, but it was wiser that he didn't.
Big loser on that restart was Jay Dewar, who was the one caught right behind the 00 of Thompson on that restart, and he's been shuffled back now outside of the top 5 after running up the top 2 since the drop of the green.
It is all Steve Book out in front. Is this a problem with Blackwell? Blackwell just dropped to the inside of the racetrack and dropped anchor in that one machine. He is now off the pace. Thompson goes around.
2 laps left to go for leader Steve Book. Thompson to second. Walters now in third as, the pack going by the one of Blackwell. What a shame because he had a fast car when it counted.
He still had the move of the race, in my opinion.
Yep.
That pass for second was fantastic. That's a hint, Spencer, that we want to see that again in a replay when this one's over. Spencer just told me I'm number 1.
White flag out, 1 more trip around for Steve Book over Thompson and Walters. Walters still has thoughts of second place.
Walters has pointed the nose to the inside in turn 1 and 2, not getting as good a run off the turn as Thompson, but he's got 1 more chance as he drives it deep. This one's going to be Steve Book in the 47 for the win. Who's going to get second? Thompson
will grab second over Walters. Then it's Beatty and Dewar, the top 5. Senior back there in 6th. Hahn 7th. Blackwell holds on for the 8th position. 9th will go to Adrian Foster, and Bill Clark rounds out the top 10. Paul Boundy comes home at 11th. Nick Clark in 12th. Jeremy McLean in the 13th spot. Matt Young 14th. And 15th goes to Dale Martin. 16th, Bob Parsons. 17th, Dan Rothwell. Ryan Cowan and Darcy McGibbon round out the running order for the night work design OSCAAR Hot Rods as Steve Book gets the checkered flag for a victory lap.
Not for nothing, Greg, but do you see that white truck out in the back of the racetrack? It's a tow vehicle. It's a Hino truck that towed Steve Book's number 47 to the racetrack today.
Wonder who sold him that truck.
I don't want to talk about that.
I hope he got a good deal at least.
Great guy, Steve Book. And let's look at a replay of some of the action. I think this is Blackwell slowing late in the race. Spencer, that's not the Blackwell highlight we wanted. We wanted to see his bold move to the outside on that last restart.
You're still number 1, Adam.
It's good to be number 1.
We'll let Spencer cue it up, and how about we send it down to victory lane? Clinton Jeffrey's going to talk with our top 3.
Thanks a lot, guys. We get ready to roll down here. Steve Book working his way out of the number 47 car. He'll get ready to get out and be saluted by the fans here in attendance and everybody watching at home live on GForce. Congrats. How about it for Steve? Look, gets it done here in the Nrs Brakes OSCAAR Hot Rod presentation here tonight. Well, Buck, pretty good deal. This class has grown enormously the past couple seasons. You got to be really proud of how this has come together with your competitors and how the whole thing has been built over the past couple years. More and more drivers getting into this series. Congrats. What are your thoughts today?
I think it's great. It's a great series. Dave Gainforth is doing a great job. I'd like to thank Luke Ramsey at APC for helping put this together, inviting us out to the track. This place is awesome. Glenn, Jerry, and and Mr. Hill there putting this together. It's awesome out here. I'd like to thank my sponsors and all my crew. They've been doing a great job. The car was great today, best it's ever been, and we got away with one there.
Look good there. Stephen Book gets it done, ladies and gentlemen, here, and we'll get him into the victory lane. We'll move down here and talk to second and third. Well, you didn't start right up the front, but you were making passes near the end. How did your day go?
Oh, it was amazing. We can't have a much better day. This is the first time out with the car, my first time on the track. Just awesome days. Feels so good to be back out racing. Can't thank enough for everybody that let us come out and have some fun.
Solid drive. Congrats. Stompin' Tom, a good drive for you, man. I watched you guys just built this car, just got it out. It's a gorgeous piece. What's your thoughts of your first run here with the OSCAAR Hot Rods this season?
A little more competitive than I thought. Kind of underestimated a few things, but we'll get it better for the next time we're here in a couple of weeks, and hopefully we do a lot better.
Now, the car looked great. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
There you have it, guys. Your top three down here in Victory Lane. We're going to pass it up to you. Get ready to go with the next round of racing here.
Great job, Clinton, Jeffrey, Spencer. Are we able to get a close-up? I want to get a close-up of Steve Book's crew because I believe that is Ralph Book just walking away from the back of the race car. It's hard to tell because well into his 70s, he still looks like the average 40-something-year-old. He's just amazing. Even the crew shirts are retro. So as Steve Book celebrates in Victory Lane along with Trevor Thompson, Tom Walters, let's take a quick break and we'll be back with the OSCAAR Modifieds.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Chicken Wings. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GForceTV.
The noise-canceling piston insert reduces the number of noisy stops by over 90%. This revolutionary noise suppression device snaps into place and works with every open piston caliper with ease. Engineered to eliminate comebacks and customer returns, this floating design absorbs vibration, which makes for quieter braking. The noise-canceling piston insert, included with all galvanized NRS brake pads.
Back to Jukasa Motor Speedway as this afternoon's the APC Series on GForceTV. Up next, though, we've got the Queenston Chevrolet OSCAAR Modifieds hitting the track.
Beautiful looking race cars. Here's how they're going to line up. On the pole out of Hampton, the number B10, London Recreational Racing, Cochrane Automotive, Brighton Speedway sponsored, Kelly Balson on the pole for this one. Alongside, he is a rookie in this series out of Kitchener. The Kurtz Coolers Academy Construction Ultra number 88, Jake Watson. Row 2 on the inside from Churchill, the London Recreational Racing Havelock Metal Roofing AM Group of Companies number 89C, it's Andy Camrath. Starting fourth from Guelph, the Just Foam It, JT Excavating Stewart's Farm Equipment number 34, TJ Edwards. Rolling off fifth, in the Crow's Gas, Speedy Auto Machine RCP Dyno and Tuning number 52 is Jeff Walt. And starting sixth from Oakville, the Oakville Auto and Diesel Machine Shop number 18, Jason Keene. Starting seventh from Shelburne, the Roy Foss Thornhill SGR Plumbing Scott Reinhardt Trailer Sales number 51, Dale Reinhardt. Starting eighth from Conn, the McLean Farms number 47, Brent McLean. Rounding out your top 10 on the inside of row number 5 from Hawkins Corners, the BAE Environmental, TL Tire, Klotz Canada, number 14, AJ Ems. And starting 10th from Newcastle, the Ibach Restoration Company, Taunted Fire, number 77C, Chad Strong. Starting 11th, the Family Funland, Jackson Construction, Summerhill Golf Club, West Shore Stone and Brick. Sponsored number 11 from Kincardine, Norman Newman. Starting 12th from Holland Landing, the Lawn Care, Scott Reinhardt Trailers, Rob Milwain Enterprises, number 21, Chris Milwain. Starting 13th from London, the KDM Erectors, Z Air Heating and Cooling, Tirecraft, number 4, Jeff Chan. Starting 14th from Kilworth, the Canada Tube Form, number 90, Mike Hamisher. Starting 15th from Omimi, the NATO's Collision, Web Transmissions, Park Hill Excavation, number 72 is Bob Franks. Starting 16th from Owen Sound, the Fireplace and Patio Shop, HaveOne.com, number 69, Wally Wilson. Starting 17th in the 79 from Burlington, it's Craig Downey, and tail of the field from Innisfil, the Fireplace and Patio Shop, HaveOne.com, number 96, Colton Everingham. That's your Queenston Chevrolet Modified Series starting grid.
Field given the sign to double up last time around. This time by, we'll see the white flag, and we'll get to it. Green flag racing. 40 laps here for the Queenston Chevrolet OSCAAR Modifieds.
What do you think the nerve situation is like for Jake Watson starting up on the outside of the front row? He's got a veteran, Kelly Balson, to his inside. The ultra-confident Andy Camrath in that 89C just behind him on the inside. Jake Watson's a very good race car driver. He's a veteran of mini-stock racing for quite a while. A very good iRacer.
You know, I was thinking the exact same thing when I saw him roll down the front stretch here. He's got to be nervous, but he's obviously got a fast car here. And we'll see what he can do against that wily veteran, Kelly Bolson. Here on the front row, coming to the double green flags for the Queenston Chevrolet OSCAAR Modifieds.
Yeah, I don't know if that start's going to stand or not. 3 wide through 1 and 2.
Oh, looks like they are letting it stand, and it's Jake Watson out in front after all of that, the shuffle at the front. I really thought they were going to throw the caution flag there. It looked as though they were. And now we've got some debris. A hood panel down in the entry corner 1 will put us under the caution flag. That original start's going to be worth another look, I think.
Well, let's have a look. In fact, we've got an interview with the pole sitter. Let's have a look at the interview we had with Kelly Balson a little bit earlier on.
I just got
as we see the hood piece laying on the front stretch.
We shouldn't be able to see the production because the looks on their faces. Did you see the screen 60 seconds ago?
No. I saw the hand gestures.
The screen says we have an interview with the pole sitter from earlier if you want to throw to it. That's all right. So in loving memory of that hood that fell off the race car. The crew quick to go and get it.
That original start was interesting to say the least because it was Kelly Balson that jumped out to the good advantage on the start. It looked as though maybe Jake didn't quite get the start that he wanted, but by the time everything shuffled around in corner number 4, Jake was the leader.
And I didn't, I'm watching out one, man, that's a huge advantage. I look back up and all of a sudden Jake Watson is out in front. They read the drivers the riot act more so in the APC series to say there is a restart cone. You do not fire until you're at least 2 car lengths from that restart cone, and it is halfway from turn 4 to the start-finish line, and I think that's a great idea. Kelly fired halfway between turns 3 and 4, which is kind of an old-school Junior Hanley way to fire off a race.
And honestly, I didn't see most of that first lap. I had my eye on the flag man because there was some talk in the tower about what was going on. And watch all this. They went 3 wide into corner number 1. Meanwhile, Kelly Balson's on the bottom into the corner.
Jeff Walt took it 3 wide down the inside of the front straightaway, so it was an aggressive start.
So when we come back to the green now, it's going to be Jake Watson and TJ Edwards on the front row that come back to the white flag this time by.
Now, I doubt there are very many modified teams that come with more than 4 crew people. But remember, the rules for this event, for all these events, is the driver and 4 crew, which also includes a spotter. So it is feasible that the person who normally secures the hood pins on the race car did not get invited to the race today. That's why the hood flew off that car.
Good point. Good point. I know there were a lot of teams that were in that situation. Who do we leave at home?
But as I say, with a modified, like with some, I don't want to call it entry level, but it's a support class, it's a hobby class. I don't know that many of them travel with big entourages anymore.
That's just you. Back to the green flag, and a good start that time as TJ Edwards on the outside of Jake Watson gets the advantage. Down into corner 1, he'll cut across the nose and lets up ground. Camrath shoots to the outside of the lead.
Camrath just right spot, right time, had the confidence to go to the outside. Jake Watson looks much faster on corner entry. I think alarmingly faster than Edwards as he slides up in front of Jason Keene. I believe there was a little bit of contact there, but mostly probably just Keene saying, hey, you don't do that.
Here comes Walt now down to the inside of Jake Watson looking for the 3rd position as they work it through corner number 4. Out in front, it's Camrath and Edwards 1 and 2, and then that's where things heat up. Watson, Walt, and Keene. Balson's still in the thick of it.
Well, just like the hot rod race, there's a lot of racing to come, and I'll tell you a driver who loves this racetrack. He won more than one race at Cayuga Speedway in a hobby car, and he has come from the back because that engine had a miss in it in practice, and it had a miss in it in qualifying, but Craig Downey in the old Spider-Man ride, the 79, is flying.
Yeah, right there on the back bumper of AJMs as they work through corners number 3 and 4. Andy Camrath leading the way over TJ Edwards and Jake Watson.
I always enjoyed the way Craig Downey raced. He's as laid back as they come, but a fierce competitor. Up there in the 8th position. Out in front, it's Andy Camrath by 10 car lengths or so over Edwards. He's got about 5 or 6 car lengths over Jake Watson, and then it is a gaggle of cars from 3rd back to 8th. Everyone looking for a little bit of racing room out there.
And there you see Jake Watson on back. There's Kelly Balson in the mix, and AJM's and Downey side by side.
So Downey just made a move to the inside of AJM's into turn 3. He drove it deep, and you could see AJM's react by driving it deeper. Downey drove deeper still. Like it was a whizzing contest, and neither driver was able to willing to give way. To the point where AJM's is now looking to the outside of Jason Keene. What a battle!
Wow, on the outside of Keene. Downey back down. Oh, and AJM slipped up in corner number 2. Now Downey to the inside of Keene. Walt gets by Watson in front of them. All kinds of action.
Yeah, Walt, Watson, and Kelly Balson doing battle there for the 3rd position. Edwards is sort of keeping pace with Andy Camrath. Camrath is leading the way. He's got a comfortable lead, but he's not really driving away from Edwards in 2nd. Now drivers are starting to get through traffic. So Jeff Walt in the 52, he has cleared way to try to track down the leaders. And let's see if Craig Downey runs out a race car. I mean, the closer you get to the front of the pack, the harder each pass is to complete.
TJ Edwards was very quick in practice this afternoon, and he is now closing the gap. It's not a big increment that he's gaining every time by, but it's a little bit, and he does it once again there. So he is drawing closer to the leader, and some lap traffic in front of them. This is going to get interesting here as they'll come to complete lap number 12 this time by the stand.
Looks right now like the lap cars are staying mostly to the bottom of the racetrack, but you never know. It always seems like just as the leaders get there, things happen, and quite often once the leader goes by, the lap cars start racing again, and there's still a lot of lead lap cars trying to make their move. So Andy Camrath able to clear the slower cars. Now Edwards going to work to the outside in 3 and 4. He'll catch them both in the middle of the turn. No harm, no foul. He gets by as well.
Jeff Walt riding back there in position number 3, not showing up on our scoring. He's not on race monitor, not showing up on our scoring pylon, but the 52 of Walt's there. Oh!
Kelly Balson closed in so fast on that slower car, he had to throw the parachute to slow down. Jeff Walt had already done the same thing. Walt actually boxed himself in by going to the inside of the first lap car, so that allowed Craig Downey to get by Kelly Balson, and it allowed Downey to close right in on the back of Jeff Walt. So we've got a shuffle in the top 5 running order.
Camrath and Edwards out in front, and then it's a big gap back to 3rd place Jeff Walt. Downey behind him. Kelly Balson holding on to the top 5. Jake Watson just on the outside in 6th. 7th is Jason Keene. 8th is AJM's. He's a little sideways there in corner 1.
Reinhardt back there in the 9th position. Pretty good battle out there between Jason Keene in the 18, Jake Watson in the 88, AJM's in the 14. Dale Reinhardt closing in the 51 to make that a 4-car battle.
Clear sailing for the top 2 as they work it down the front stretch. Camrath and TJ Edwards 1 and 2. They've got a good distance before they catch lap traffic. One car slow on the back stretch going into the pit area.
I think that's Strong. I think that's 77 Chad Strong. Oh, Jake Watson, what a bummer. Turns down into the pit area. Noses into the pit, so I believe that'll be the end of him for today.
Too bad. We've seen him a couple of times here on GForceTV. Once at Flamborough Speedway in the mini stocks, and same fate for him. He had to pull off early in that one, and after good solid runs and good showing for that talented youngster.
I did not see Craig Downey get around Jeff Walt, but Downey in the 79 up into the 3rd position. Not seeing Downey show up on our timing and scoring. So I've got Jeff Walt there in 3rd, but no sign of the 79 again. Little gremlins in the scoring system. And I may be crazy, but it looks like Edwards is slowly closing in on our race leader.
Where it was earlier on, but he lost a bit of ground when they went by that last pack of lap traffic. Now they're coming up on some much heavier traffic. And we'll take a look this time by. Yeah, he closes in maybe 1/10 of a second that lap.
This race needs a yellow. Not a crash, just a piece of something fall off the race car. Draw a yellow flag. This is an ugly gaggle of cars that Andy Camrath's closing in on. Right behind him is Edwards. Camrath will know that Edwards is close behind him, so he's got to be assertive as he works through this lap traffic, but he's also got to keep his head about it.
He gained another 10th last lap. Let's see what happens this time by across the stripe. The differential before was .425. This time it's back up to 525, so lost a little ground working the outside line around the lap traffic.
Edwards wiggled there going into turn one. I think he's really turned up the wick. Often that'll bite you here at Jukasa. He's got being smooth rewards you here at Jukasa Motor Speedway.
Camrath will clear that lap car, and now we'll have a good gap to the next one with 25 complete and 15 laps left to go. Out in front of that London Recreational Racing number 89C.
Kelly Balson is closed in on Jeff Walt, goes way to the outside, so he was on the offense, has to play some defense, and it's not going to work as AJM slips by to pick up that 5th position. Craig Downey is shown back up on time and scoring. Ems drives it deep down into 3 and 4, closing in on Jeff Walton at 52. That's going to be the hot battle on the racetrack right now. 4th, 5th, and 6th. As Ems glues it to the white line on the inside of turns 1 and 2. They race neck and neck off the corner.
Ems has had some good runs here at Jukasa Motor Speedway. He looks down low on Walt, will take the spot away off of corner number 4. Balson looked to do the same. Walt kept the door closed.
Just amazing how many grooves these cars can run, and sometimes they wind up someplace on purpose. Sometimes they get shuffled out of their line by accident, and they're able to make something work. So it's a lot of fun to watch these drivers navigate the race.
Keeping an eye on Greg Downey. He's back there in the 3rd position. You see him getting by the lap car and getting set, trying to close the gap. And that gap between 1st and 2nd is greatly increased. Now it's up to 9/10 of a second. At one point it was 4/10.
So he does have one more slower car in front of him that he needs to deal with. It's actually running sort of in the racing groove out there. It's the number 11 machine, Norman Newman.
Work around Newman. Off of corner number 4. It'll be 8 laps left to go for Andy Camrath. In the 89C, TJ Edwards has been the only driver that's been able to hang with him here in the closing laps. Still right there, 2 lap cars between the top 2.
Battle for 5th is starting to warm up once again. Kelly Balson has the spot, but right behind him is Jeff Walt in the 52. Dale Reinhardt in the 51. Jason Keane in the 18. Kelly Balson is stretched a little bit. It's mostly 6th, 7th, and 8th under contest right now as they work off a turn 4.
There you see the difference between 1st and 2nd.
Turn 1.
And that will put us under the caution. 7 laps left to go.
Jason Keane drove to the inside of Dale Reinhardt. It's one of those situations you don't know should... Hard racing. Reinhardt actually made a nice save. He went for a long slide, gathered it up. Let's see. He's not far behind Jason Keane right now. There's only one car between him and Keane as they run under yellow, but he doesn't look like he's coming up to retaliate at all.
So Norman Newman will get the free pass around, as he was the first car 1 lap down. So he'll get by Camrath and join the tail of the field. As yes, we've got Greg Downey stopped in victory lane, but a few laps too early, and
he's a little premature. And I promise you, it's Craig. It's actually a mistake in race monitor.
Well, that's what I started calling him, was Greg Downey, and then oh no.
all the way up to the third spot. He's trying to wave off the push. Hey, listen, there's one thing I can do. I can put it out if you're on fire, and I can push it. Beyond that, that's all the help I provide.
So Clinton Jeffrey is down there on the scene, so we get a shot.
And Clinton, we're hearing it's a steering issue. Disappointment for Craig Downey, who passed a lot of race cars today.
Well, guys, down here, the problem with the 79, yes, they are having some issues. Doesn't look like he's got any controls, and they're just sitting here patiently. Looks like they're waiting for the tow truck, and here it comes off of turn number 4.
Yeah, if they're going to hook him up, Clinton, tell Craig to hop out of the car. It'd be fun to talk to him. He has had a really tough day. They chased. He thought it was a fuel issue earlier on. Is it either fuel or electrical? That car was sputtering all day long. Starts at the back of the field, works his way up to the top 3. Clinton's with Craig now.
Need to ask, what's the deal here, and what's the problem with your car?
Just before the caution, I was running great. Had some problems earlier, a bit of a misfire, but it coming down the front straight for the caution, it just shut off on me. It wouldn't start again.
So there you have it, Adam. It's not a steering issue, it's a power issue.
So nonetheless, Race Towing will hook up Craig Downey's number 79, pull him into the infield.
Do you enjoy telling Clinton what to do as much as I do, Greg? That wasn't a tall order. I mean, he was right there anyhow, but...
He just gave you the same... the same hand gesture Spencer did. You are definitely number 1 on the team, Adam.
Yeah, well... I asked him earlier, I said, how are you getting around today? You know, this is a big place. He often has golf carts or ATVs or UTVs, different ways. He said, I'm on foot today. You got to be kidding me. At least he's not wearing a fire suit on a hot day. Let's see how many. Does he have a Fitbit, you think?
Oh, the microphone's coming out.
Clint's having a spatula day himself. We're great up here. The climate control up here is beautiful.
Oh my! I'd pay to see you do his job today.
Nope.
I don't like that. I have to ask for permission from Spencer to talk to you guys. It's not fair. And yeah, I kind of do have a Fitbit. We're about 15,000 steps already.
I think you're having a moment. Medic.
Having a microphone problems. 15,000 steps already today. That's a pretty wild one.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't the microphone. I'm pretty sure that was Clinton Jeffrey malfunction. Someone must have smacked him hard in the shoulder to get the skip to stop.
If you don't stop, he's going to have a bit of a fit.
He's on that side of the track. I'm on this side. We're all good.
I'm pretty sure in a foot race he could beat you from there to the parking lot back here where you're situated.
Oh, man. Now, if you remember, I used to do Clint's job. I was the one who wasn't chained to a tower. I could go anywhere I wanted. And then I left. And when I come back, he is now the roving person. And that's just how it was. I was up here in the tower. More Adam. We need more cowbell. One of the best SNL skits ever. Christopher Walken. I mean, he was a gift that kept on giving. We're going back to green flag racing. Andy Cameron has 7 more laps to seal the deal.
Down into corner number 1 they go. Edwards on the outside. Here comes Bolson now to the outside of Ems as they go side by side into corner 3.
Lots of momentum up the outside. AGM says not so fast. Piles it down into turn number 3. They continue to battle side by side, but Kelly Dawson gets the advantage. it was. I've seen that given numerous ways. 5 laps to go here in the Piston Chevrolet Modified event. Andy Camerath out in front. Edwards about 4 or 5 car lengths back. It looked like he lost the front end a little bit coming out of turn number 2. But then he closes the gap, driving down into 3.
36 laps on the board. 4 laps left to go here for the Queenston Chevrolet OSCAAR Modifieds. Camerath, Edwards, Balson, Ems, and the 52 machine right now of Walt in the top 5.
Ems is absolutely harassing Kelly Balson for that 3rd spot. All over the back end of the B10. He'll drive to the inside down into turns 1 and 2. I think Balson likes it up on the outside. I think he realizes he can get a good run off the turn. So as long as AJMs can't clear him, and boy, you drive into the corner that hard, you got a good chance to clear somebody. Even sliding up the racetrack, Kelly Balson with a better exit.
2 laps left to go. 0.3 of a second the difference between first and second. And you've got AJMs and Kelly Balson duking it out for the 3rd spot. This one long from over as they'll come to the white flag this time.
Ems drives it in deep. Kelly Balson backing up the turn just a little bit. White flag one more time around. Again, the best battle is for 3rd. Balson driving it in behind AJMs. Camerath out in front by 3 car lengths. 4 car lengths now over Edwards.
Down through 3 and 4 for the final time. Double checkers coming out. Andy Camerath will cruise off a corner 4 to pick up the win. The Queenston Chevrolet OSCAAR Modified feature event. TJ Edwards crosses the line in 2nd. Then it's AJMs in 3rd. Kelly Balson 4th. Jason Keene rounds out the top 5 as he's slipped by Jeff Wald, who finishes 6th. 7th goes to Dale Reinhardt. 8th is Norman Newman. 9th, Chris Milwain. And 10th, Jeff Chant. Back in 11th, Bob Franks in the 72. Mike Hamisher in the 90 finishes 12th. 13th was Wally Wilson. 14th, Craig Downey. 15th, Brent McLean. 16th, Jake Watson. 17th, Chad Strawn. And in 18th, Colton Evernham. So that concludes the Queenston Chevrolet OSCAAR Modified feature event, as Andy Camerath will take the trip around the track with the checkered flag. And we'll meet him down in Victory Lane in just a moment. TJ Edwards, AJMs, will join him on the podium. And the trip around the celebration for Andy Camerath in the London Recreational Racing number 89C. Fantastic run for him. As we see him down the back stretch there. Some folks asking on GeForce on the YouTube channel. Spectators in the stands, yes, we're allowed to have 100 maximum here. So there are 10 pockets of 10 folks here joining us in attendance, and also spotters up in the grandstands as well, but overall not open to the general public. As now we'll get set to send it down to Victory Lane. Clinton Jeffrey will catch up with the top 3 from the Queenston Chevrolet OSCAAR Modifieds.
Thanks a lot, Greg. We get ready to go here in to talk to our winner, Andy Camerath. He'll work his way out, gets a G-Force mask, and will take a minute to catch his breath here. What a beautifully prepared London Recreational Racing machine this is down here, with Bennett GMC also giving this team a lot of support. Camerath, a veteran here in Ontario of many divisions and many-time feature winner. And we'll get him out here and have a word with Andy in just a moment. Of course, TJ Edwards and AJM's getting out also in 2nd and 3rd place. We'll have a talk with them shortly as Camerath gets ready to make his way out of the 89C here. And here he comes, fans. How about a big hand for your winner? Andy Camerath gets it done here tonight. Andy, congrats. I mean, this London Recreational team puts a great piece under all the drivers that race for them, and you got to be real happy with how today turned out for you.
Yeah, you know, going through practice there, we were getting a little leery, probably just overthinking a few things, but you know, I can't say enough about all the opportunities, the work we put into these cars. You know, Sean, Bob, Mike, all the guys. You know, thing works pretty good, so that's 5 in a row.
How does it feel to be back at the Speedway here today?
It feels pretty good, and to be honest, you know, this one was on the bucket list. We haven't got one done here yet, so I'm glad to come out here and get it done.
Well, your bucket's got one more in it, Andy. Congrats.
Thanks, buddy.
Andy Camerath gets it done. We'll get over here and talk to TJ Edwards and AJMs. TJ, solid run for you. Tough drive out here. You got a great field of cars and competitors. Can you be pleased with second today?
Yeah, I can't complain at all. I got to thank all my sponsors, though. Can Do Homes, Just Foam It, JT Excavating, Stewart's Farm Equipment, Call the Cop Millwright, Signs and Needs, Theaker's Collision, Remax Dunnery Davison's, Hallman's. And I just got to thank the crew behind me for everything they do. I got to thank Brian McDonald for making this thing a bullet.
Good job. Congrats, TJ Edwards. Gets it done. We'll jump over here and talk to AJ Ems. AJ, solid run for you. I mean, you've been in this OSCAAR Modified division for a few years now. It continues to grow. You got a lot of competitors here today. Third place. What's your thoughts on that?
Overall, you know what? We had a really tough field of competition here in the OSCAAR Modified division. I would say that the 89 car and the 34 car were rockets today. You know what? About halfway through the feature there, the motor was at about 255 degrees, getting ready to blow up. So I decided, you know what, I bought it, so if it blows up, then it's on me. So we decided to go for it, and you know what, we persevered and ended up third today. So I can't thank my crew enough, my family for supporting me, BAE Environmental, Klotz Canada, TL Tire, Speedy Glass Aurelia. There's just so many partners on this race car that get us here every week, and you know what, we wouldn't be here without them.
Thanks, AJ. Congrats. There you have it, guys. Your top three down here from Victory Lane, and Andy Camrath, your winner.
Thanks very much, Clint. Always some great action from the folks at OSCAAR. And again, congratulations to the top three here this afternoon. Andy Camrath, TJ Edwards, and AJ Ems in the Queenston Chevrolet OSCAAR Modifieds. When we get back to racing action, it's going to be the APC Series setting up for the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil here on GForceTV.
There are a lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave sausages and street dogs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
I'm Adam Ross, and I sell Hino trucks. If you need a commercial truck, or if you work for a company that needs a commercial truck, email me. aross@mtg.ca. I'm a sales rep for Metro Truck Group, and I sell Hino trucks.
Your brakes are the most important safety device on your car. Look at this brake pad. Not even a year old. The steel is rotting. It's fallen apart. This is an accident waiting to happen. And this is what they looked like just a couple of months ago when I installed them. Brake pads shouldn't be glued or painted. Glues don't hold up. And paint, that just chips away. Now, there's a better way. Brake pads equipped with galvanized steel NRS technology. Their hooks grab the friction material and won't let go. They're quiet, they're corrosion proof, and they last longer. They're nearly indestructible. Nothing in your brake system is glued. Your brake pads shouldn't be either. Choose NRS with galvanized steel. But hey, it's just your brakes we're talking about.
lot of things in this world that are fake. Your food shouldn't be one of them. Pinty's Man Cave Ribs. Authentic food for real people. Crave the cave, friends. Pinty's Man Cave.
Second brake job this year. The pads are falling apart. See that edge lift?
Yeah.
Causes brake noise.
It's not safe either.
No. So I'm installing these Nrs equipped pads. They've got hundreds of steel hooks that bite into the pad and bond it to the plate. No more brake noise. And in 3 years, you'll still have a solid brake pad down there and not some rusted out pile of shit.
Jukasa Motor Speedway, GForceTV, live. We're ready to bring the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil for the APC United Late Model Series. I'm Greg Kelman. With me in the tower, Adam Ross, and down trackside, Clinton Jeffrey, as we get set for 75 laps for the APC Series, their first race of the 2020 season. Cars are gridded over in the pit area, and they will roll to a start and get ready to go to start this event. The first of 5 in this shortened 2020 season for the APC Series. They'll be back in action on Saturday, August the 22nd at Sauble Speedway. Going to be an interesting visit up there in a couple of weeks' time. And then on September the 12th, we'll be at the Flamborough Speedway. And then we'll conclude things with Twin 75 races right back here at Jukasa Motor Speedway, and that is going to be a good one, as well as we'll cap off 5 races at 4 tracks and 4 nights here at Jukasa Motor Speedway on September the 26th as the Queenston Chevrolet pace car begins to pull off pit road onto the back stretch. The cars will come to life here for the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil.
Should be a great race. If my ears stop bleeding, it's going to be fantastic. But I don't need to hear what I'm saying. I know the words that are coming out of my mouth. I know what's going into my ears is painful.
We're having audio difficulties with Adam, so we apologize for that. And I know we have a representative from Dayco on the flag stand here this afternoon to wave the green flag. See if we can get a name on the representative to cut this field loose. 75 laps here at Jukasa Motor Speedway, round number 1 of the 2020 season for the APC Series. Don't forget, tomorrow night you'll be able to watch GForceTV Lite. The broadcast from Marrickville Speedway this evening will be on there, our light version. We'll give you all the camera angles and all the bells and whistles, but we do have coverage from some of the tracks in Ontario as well on the GForceTV Lite brand, so you can find that at www.gforcetv.net. Make sure you subscribe and click on the notification ringer, so when that content becomes available, you can get it on your device and watch everything from GeForce TV. Field taking shape on the racetrack as race officials making sure every driver can hear the radio check as they cross the start-finish line. The guy that's going to have the most work to do here tonight did not get through tech in time to qualify. Andrew Gressel in the 81 will start at the tail in this one. I'll tell you what, though, if you're going to pick a driver to have to start at the back with, Andrew's a good pick. He can get it done in that 81. One slow car in the backstretch. Tom Gibbons will get the car wound up and up to power as we get set to go racing 75 laps here, as Adam is feverishly getting this lineup ready to go. handful of spotters up here watching over the racetrack, and that's one thing we haven't seen in some of the other broadcasts is the spotters being involved in the race, and that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Gives you another set of eyes to give you an idea of who's doing what on the racetrack. Obviously, to give you the idea of who is where, what moves you can make. But a spotter is very, very essential and going to be a big part here in the running of the Dayco 75 presented by Pennzoil. And again, we do have limited fans. Races allowed to have up to 100 fans in attendance right now. So that we have 10 pods of 10 fans grouped in the grandstands, able to come here and watch live this afternoon at Jukasa Motor Speedway.
Greg, let's tell the fans how they're going to line up for this 75-lap APC late model event. Rolling off 31st from Sauble Beach, Ontario, the high-grade roofing CUSW, Canadian Union of Skilled Workers, Gallinger Capital, number 81, Andrew Grezel. Starting 30th from London, Ontario, the London Drive Systems, Custom Fluid Power, Maple City Tire, number 77, Darrell Lake. Starting 29th from Southampton, the Graham Family Auto CarQuest Gingrich Service Center, Faust Construction, number 10, Tom Gibbons. Rolling off 28th from Drumbo, the London Recreational Racing, Bennett GM, KR Communications, Caldecott Millwright Services, number 89C, it's Sean Chenoweth. To his inside from Waterdown, the Bryans Auction Services, Norheat Inc., Neil Strom Trucking and Bin Service, number 88 is Tim Norris. Starting 26 from London, the Gen 7 Fuel Oneida, Kennedy's Corner Store, Rico Foods, Dad's, number 18, Patrick Friel. Starting 25th from Port Hope, the Signs Flooring, Durmac Precision Tooling, Cordis Septic Facility Services, number 81M, Brian Mercer. Starting 24th from Waterloo, the Latham Industries, Fuchs International Finishing, Rapid Abrasives, Milcron, number 1, Sean McGlynn. Starting 23rd from Guelph, the Retail Design Group, Maker, Pizza, MRC Wireless, Merge 4 Socks, ImageWraps.ca, number 97D is Tyler DiVincenzo. Starting 22nd from Mount Hope, the Queenston Chevrolet, Hamilton Pure Energy Performance, Jukasa Designs, number 93, Carson Nagy. Starting 21st from Ilderton, Ontario, the Big Box Mobile, number 70 is Piper Adams. Starting 20th from Windsor, the Express Group, Hallmark Memorial, Rivard Snow Plowing, Highland Tools, number 03 is Ray Morneau. Starting 19th from Milton, the Maple City Tire, Transport, Trailer Sales Inc., Glider, Tarp Systems, Iconic Elements, number 27 is Matt Box. Starting 18th from Hamilton, the U.S. Tank, Medweld, Ryan's Landscaping, number 46 is Lane Zardo. Starting 17th from St. Thomas, the Belfair CPA, Southwinds Roofing, DNS Plumbing, Dominion Lending Centers, number 11 of Jason Lidster. Starting 16th from Woodstock, the Fernbrook Homes, High Reach Cranes, Bud Chef Cadillac, 16x9 Agency, Action Towing, number 13, Shane McGinnis. Starting 15th from Guelph, the Jennifer Hatch Coldwell Bankers, sponsored by Mikey, Rick, and Pam, Wellington Systems, number 83, Dale Shaw. Starting 14th from Mount Bridges, the Pride Seeds, Vibrant Farms, Belfour Property Restoration. Number 52, Jake Sheridan. Starting 13th from Norwood, the SMG Motorsports, Apex Racewear, Fury Race Cars, GTA Racing Designs, number 29, Ryan Kimball. Starting 12th from Cambridge, the Shaw Chassis, Licebuster, Rymat Mini Storage, JP Powder Coating, number 97 is Blair Wickett. Starting 11th from Chesley, the Nicole Insurance, MEI Paving, Cooperators Hanover, APC Auto Parts Center, number 17, Josh Stoddy. Now your top 10. Starting 10th from Dorchester, the North Country Property Maintenance, Standard Axle, APC number 3 is Shay Gemmel. Starting 9th from St. Thomas, the Castrol Edge, Will Ride Transport, Cathcart Trucking, number 28, DJ Kennington. Starting 8th from Glencoe, the Dowler Carn, Bumper to Bumper, London Drive Systems, Guild Electric, number 55 is Gary Adrianson. Starting 7th from Cambridge, the Meineke Car Care, Cambridge and Kitchener, Transaxle Heavy Duty Truck and Trailer Parts, number 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick. Starting 6th from London, the APC Auto Parts Centers, Total Lubricants, number 22 is Pete Shepard. Starting 5th from London, the Global Warranty, Exalta, ToyotaTown.com, Napa Certified Body Shops, number 21 is Matt Pritico. Starting 4th from Grimsby, the Ace Services, APC Auto Parts Centers, PFC Brakes, Epic Raceware, number 32, Trayton Lapsevich. Starting 3rd from Elmvale, the SDR Seating, Shaw Chassis, number 74, Travis Halliburton. Now your front row. Starting 2nd from Stainer, the Barry Frame and Alignment, Sheer Metal Products, Tips Bar, number 9, Brandon Watson. And your pole setter. From London, the Pennzoil, APC Auto Parts Centers, Canusa Automotive Warehousing, number 78, it's Joe Lawrence.
Ready to go green for the NACO 75, presented by Pennzoil. Green flag off of corner 4, the first of 2020 for the APC United Late Model Series. Joe Lawrence, Brandon Watson down in 1 and 2, door to door off the second corner. Watson on the high side, Lawrence on the bottom. They'll continue that way down into 3.
Matt Pritico goes to the inside of Travis Halliburton, who is already on the inside for the 5th spot. And out in front, Brandon Watson noses ahead of Joe Lawrence to lead lap number 1.
Back there in 3rd, Trayton Lapsevich. Pete Shepard riding on his deck lid. Then you've got Matt Pritico in the top 5, and things are getting hairy behind them. Halliburton and Fitzpatrick door to door, along with DJ Kennington and Gary Adrianson.
Yeah, DJ Kennington had thoughts for a moment of going 3 wide and putting J.R. Fitzpatrick in the middle, but these two have raced around each other a lot of times. Whoa, Sheridan way out of shape in turn number 2.
Down into corner 3 they go. DJ Kennington on the bottom of J.R. Fitzpatrick, door to door through corner number 4. Off the corner they work. DJ Kennington with a slight advantage at the line.
Out in front, Brandon Watson by about half a car length over Joe Lawrence. Lawrence is keeping him right in his sights. Then a 10 car lengths back to Trayton Lapsevich in the 32, with Pete Shepard in the 22 and Matt Pritico in the 21 in tow.
Brandon Watson, we've documented all day how good he is here at Jukasa Motor Speedway, but off the hop, Joe Lawrence doing a nice job in that Pennzoil number 78 right there on his back bumper, not going away here in the early going.
You know, 75 laps is a good long time. You are going to use up the rubber on these tires, so the drivers need to be mindful to not overuse your right front going into the turn or your right rear coming off the turn. And really, Joe Lawrence is going to school right now because Brandon Watson has a great track record here at Jukasa, but he's also a veteran. At the young age he is, he's an absolute veteran of long-distance racing.
Good race going on right now for the 4th and 5th spot. We saw that a moment ago, and it was Pete Shepard trying to hold off Matt Pritico, the defending champion, the 21 car. Matt celebrating being a dad, not just a champion, he's a dad now, so a little bit more to race for here this afternoon.
For fans of Andrew Gressel, the former champion in the APC Series, he is still mired at the back in the 29th position in that 81, so things have not gone his way at the start of this one so far. The car that started directly in front of him, Darrell Lake, has already picked up about 6 or 7 spots in that 77 machine, so something amiss on the Andrew Gressel number 81.
8 laps completed in this one, 67 still to go with Brandon Watson out in front of Joe Lawrence, Trayton Lapsevich, Pete Shepard, and Matt Pritico. Here comes Shepard down to the inside, looking low on the 32 of Trayton Lapsevich. Those 3 cars very equally matched, battling from 3rd back to 5th.
Further back, Matt Box just put a move on Jason Lidster in 3 and 4 on the inside, and that opened the door for Shane McGinnis, Lane Zardo. I believe Ray Morno was the next one to sneak through in the 0-3, and now Piper Adams in that black number 70, and Adams right up under the rear bumper of Ray Morno down to the 3 and 4.
Continue to watch Trayton Lapsevich, Pete Shepard, Matt Pritico, and now DJ Kennington entering the screen. You'll see him to the far right in the 28, the Castrol Edge car, as he closes in on this top 5 battle. As they work across the line, it is 11 complete, 64 to go here in the NACO 75, presented by Pennzoil.
That speed shot is something to see on the front straightaway here as you watch the field streak on by. Cars that I notice are starting to make their moves. Ryan Kimball in the 29 trying to work his way up through the field. Right now racing on the inside of Josh Stotty in that 17. Travis Halliburton lost a handful of spots earlier on in this one, but he seems to have settled in now. Back in about the 8th or 9th spot there in the 74 car.
Brandon Watson out in front right now by 0.6 of a second over Joe Lawrence. So that's 1.8 seconds back from the leader to third place, Trayton Lapsovich. Good distance back there. But again, those cars battling for 4th and 5th. Pete Shepard and Matt Pritico right behind Trayton Lapsovich. Maybe a little rubbing there that time.
Pritico was very polite there. Shepard gently closed the door, and Pritico tried to maintain his track position, but eventually had to back out to avoid some real contact there. That allowed DJ Kennington to close right in that 28. So it's now a 4-car battle for the 3rd position, as Joe Lawrence is beginning to lose track of the race leader, Brandon Watson.
Yeah, Watson is stretching it. Now he's beginning to see the tail of the field. When he gets onto the straightaway, he can see them entering the corner, and that first car that he sees is Tom Gibbons, and that's how stout these fields are. The APC United Late Model Series, when the first car that could potentially go a lap down is Tom Gibbons, that's a pretty stout field.
And I mean, those are good cars racing with Tom Gibbons. I mean, Tyler DiVincenzo is fairly young in his racing career, doing a nice job. But Tim Norris, that's a good race car, that 88 machine. Brian Mercer, Andrew Gressel, these are not fly-by-night operations. But the field is strung out now almost all the way around the racetrack. Brandon Watson, we'll have a look at lap times the last time by. Joe Lawrence was 1/1000th of a second slower than the race leader, Brandon Watson, last time at the stripe.
Trouble off of corner number 2. Piper Adams slides the car, keeps it going forward, and looks like will stay under the green flag as Piper Adams grabs the tail of the field behind Tom Gibbons, and still problems for that 70 car.
He's not done sliding. I think what he did was drove through enough oil dry that was probably all over the tires when he went down into turn 3. I believe a lap or so should stabilize that race car.
You see Joe Lawrence riding in the 2nd spot in the APC Auto Parts Center Pennzoil, number 78. And behind him is where it continues to be the biggest battle. Trayton Lapsovich slides up the track. Here comes Pete Shepard on the bottom, but a good run off the 2nd corner by Trayton Lapsovich. He'll hold down that 3rd position. Shepard digging down in there. He's got Pritico boxed in behind him along with DJ Kennington. And now J.R. Fitzpatrick, Shea Gemmel are beginning to catch this punch.
You know, when they close in, I mean, they're less than 1/10 of a second faster than the cars in front of them when Lapsovich and them are all battling out there. So as they battle, you can creep in, and all of a sudden you've got a train of about 8 cars battling for position instead of the original 4 cars.
Leaders catching the back of the field now. They are within about 8 car lengths, and there's some battling for position right in front of the leaders.
Yeah, Tim Norris is on the inside of Brian Mercer in the 81M. Behind them, Tyler DiVincenzo, Tom Gibbons. Gibbons looked like he has dropped down to the bottom of the racetrack to give the outside to the race leaders, but that's not going to be a huge amount of help to Brandon Watson, as they were still side by side right in front of him. Now things seem to have settled down. Tyler DiVincenzo next in line. He's down on the inside of the racetrack, given plenty of racing room.
Now Mercer will slip down as we see the battle shaping up again, and one troubles out of corner 2. It's Jake Sheridan in the 52 will bring us under the caution flag, and that's exactly what some of these drivers at the back of the pack needed. Catch their breath. 23 laps complete.
And that was a full 360, got the car pointed in the right direction and going once again. And Sheridan immediately down to pit road. I had noticed he was a little bit loose a couple of times in turn 4, and obviously a little bit loose in turn 2, where he went around.
So that puts us under the first caution of the afternoon here in the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil. The Queenston Chevrolet pace car will pick up the field on the backstretch with leader Brandon Watson out in front over Joe Lawrence in 2nd.
We mentioned earlier we were disappointed Danny Benedict not able to make the call for the feature event, a rear end issue. But there's another driver we're really missing today, Greg, and that's Jason Parker. We understand he's at home watching with some friends, and we much prefer you were here competing with us, and we hope you're able to get back to the track fairly soon. We hope you enjoy the broadcast, but our thoughts are with you. The gang from APC, Luke Ramsey, wanted us to express our wishes that you were here with us. Let's go to Clinton Jeffrey on pit road.
Well, thanks, guys. Tim Norris in here in this machine, the 88 car. You can see they're pulling spring rubbers out of the right rear, and that's going to keep them working away here to try and make sure they've got what they need to improve the setup here on Norris's 88.
Yeah, some of those cars at the back. Tyler DiVincenzo is also in the pit area. A chance for them to make some adjustments, although it looks like they're going under the hood possibly in the 97. The hood pin's coming off there. So we'll keep an eye on that as Tim Norris. We'll head back on the racetrack. Brian Mercer also is in the pits. He's in his stall. Gary Adrianson in the 55 pulls down pit lane as well. So a bit of a breather for some of these drivers to make some adjustments possibly and figure out why their cars aren't driving the way they want them to right at this moment. There's still plenty of racing to go. And we've been treated to some great racing action, especially from third on back, where we see Trayton Lapsevich, Pete Shepard, Matt Pritico, DJ Kennington. And you can continue on. They were all beginning to bunch up there. And now a chance for them to see what they have for the leaders. You talk about Trayton Lapsevich there in the third spot. How about his brother Caden Lapsevich is turning a lot of heads down south of the border, Adam. Obviously picking up a job with Rowdy Manufacturing, but he's picked up some really good finishes in the last week.
You know, finishing. Let's go back to Caden Lapsevich. We got Clinton Jeffrey on pit road.
Thanks, guys. Tyler DiVincenzo down here with problems. They're working under the right side there. Looks like it's a suspension issue for him here as they're trying to work on that lower right suspension on this machine. We thought it might have been power issues, but no, it's something with the right front, guys.
It's a good look there as the crew works on.
So Caden finished second last week, but the list of drivers that he beat in that super late model race, Kyle Busch, Johnny Sauter, the list was long. I think his next move is down to North Carolina, where he's going to be working for Rowdy Race Cars.
Lapsevich family, always successful no matter what they do, and a great racing family. We get to watch Trayton here, who came pretty close to picking up a win here at Jukasa Motor Speedway, if memory serves me, a year ago. He was in the running.
You know, it's amazing how racing works, because we talked about, well, you talked about earlier, I put together some statistic, which is not my style by any stretch, but I was fascinated in top 5 finishes. And if you look down the list, so Brandon Watson has 5 top 5 finishes in 5 races here. Then the drivers with just 2 top 5s, Jason Hathaway, Pete Shepard, Andrew Gressel, J.R. Fitzpatrick, Jake Sheridan, Trayton Lapsevich, Shea Gemmel, and Dale Shaw. There's only 4 more drivers with even a single top 5 finish since the track was redone, since the APC Series started visiting. That's Alex LeBay, Caden Lapsevich, Matt Pritico, and Ray Morneau from Windsor, Ontario in the 03, who had a great qualifying run and a great top 5 finish. And he's been struggling. He qualified deep in the field. He's trying to work his way through, but it shows you how hard it is to consistently be at the front here. And I'm not sure what changes, Greg. Like if I'm Ray Morneau and we spent some time in the campground with him this weekend, I would take every measurement on that car when I was here and finished in the top 5. It'd be on the scales, and I would want to do exactly what they did. And I'm sure they tried. He's just struggling a little bit. Clinton's got more for us on pit road.
Thanks, Adam. Down here on the Darrell Lake 77 car, they brought out the stagger gauge. You can see it there. And for those fans at home, what that is that's just a quick gauge. They can tell the difference in circumference from one side to the other. They went around, checked all tires. That tells me the handling is going awry on the 77, and they're going to do what they can here to make a tire pressure adjustment or do something to change the stagger and get the 77 car handling better, guys.
Well, if you're not at the front of the field and you think you can make your car better, yeah, bring it down pit road, take a big swing.
Still early in this one, 23 laps complete here at Jukasa Motor Speedway on GForceTV. Glad you could join us. Greg Kellman, Adam Ross here in the tower. Clinton Jeffrey down on pit road as the field is being given the signal to double up, and we'll get back to green flag racing Here in the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil.
You sure, Greg? You sure that's what you're going to call it? Our minds are terrible things. Like, they will take the worst thing possible to fall out of your mouth when your intentions are pure. You know what I'm talking about.
But I didn't say it on mic.
No, neither did I last week. Thank goodness.
All right, white flag is out. The field bunches up behind the Queenston Chevrolet pace car, and when we bring them back to life, we're going to go full force, give you the sights and the sounds of the APC United Late Model Series as they come back to life with 23 laps complete. The pace car will pull off on the back stretch, and now it is time for us to go full force. Watching this, the sights and the sounds, amazing camera angles here this afternoon. It's a lot better than listening to you and I. Great racing, 3 wide there, right for the 5th spot.
J.R. Fitzpatrick just stuck it to Matt Pritico, driving it down the inside. Pritico tried to make it work and then realized Trayton Lapsevich was going to pay the price. Oh, Pritico and Fitzpatrick make contact in turn 2.
And they go into corner number 3. Now Shea Gemmel will slip to the inside of Matt Pritico as they work off the 4th corner. All this happening behind Trayton Lapsevich and the top 4, which now includes DJ Kennington. He slipped his way up in there.
Yeah, that restart did not go well for cars on the inside lane as Josh Stoddy squeezed up to the outside. Contact between Matt Box and Blair Wickett.
That was a little hairy there going down the backstretch. Blair Wickett, Josh Stoddy, good saves to keep the cars going. As it's Brandon Watson, Joe Lawrence, Pete Shepard, DJ Kennington, the top 4, then a gap back, and now here comes a battle for the 6th position and more behind that.
Matt Box is smoking. That contact has created a tire rub on the 27 of Matt Box. We will want to follow that because the tire does not rub for long here at Jukasa without blowing up.
So Matt Pritico still in the eye of the storm. Now he's to the inside of J.R. Fitzpatrick, who cuts down towards him. He's got Shea Gemmel down on his inside as they come off the 4th corner.
Pritico returns the favor to Fitzpatrick with an aggressive move, so they kind of even the score there, and now they'll regroup and carry on. Shea Gemmel, who definitely has a bit of a history with J.R. Fitzpatrick, to the inside of the 84 now, and just behind them it's Blair Wickett and Travis Halliburton.
Shuffle their way out, and now in the 6th spot is Matt Pritico. Shea Gemmel right behind him now. J.R. Fitzpatrick slips back, and now it's Halliburton and Wickett side by side. That's the battle, and we continue to watch Matt Box, who's being pressured by the 46 of Lane Zardo. There you see them in the shot.
Yeah, Lane Zardo quietly having a good run in that 46 machine. The driver out of Brampton, Ontario, that familiar black with the line neon green and yellow, number 46. Just like his grandpa Bill Zardo used to look.
33 laps complete, 42 to go. Here in the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil for the APC United Late Model Series. It's Brandon Watson, Joe Lawrence, Pete Shepard, DJ Kennington, and Trayton Lapsevich, the top 5 as they complete lap 34.
Don't understand how the mat box number 27 stopped smoking. Generally, a tire rub doesn't go away until the tire blows. But there's no smoke off of that machine. All 4 tires have air in them.
He really skated that car up the banking in corner number 2, who's holding on with Lane Zardo right to his inside.
Yeah, Zardo trying all he can. This racetrack, it's very hard to make a pass on the inside. You've got to be very, very aggressive, really charge the corner because you have to finish your pass. Otherwise, the car on the outside just has a better run off the corner. More momentum, longer straightaway, more speed. So it's really hard to seal the deal unless you just pile it into the corner and try to clear the car right away.
The driver that I think is maybe running a bit better this section of the race, or this portion of the race, than he was in the first is Pete Shepard, who seemed to be, I'm not going to say he was the bottleneck back there in that spot, but he was definitely feeling the pressure from Matt Pritico. And now you kind of feel like he's one of the cars that's moving closer and closer to Brandon Watson, as he definitely is right there on teammate Joe Lawrence in the 78 coming to the halfway, this time by the stripe.
Yeah, I know Pete Shepard and that whole team was excited about what was in store for 2020. We look to have plenty of speed out there today. I think anybody there in the top 5 or 6 has a shot. You know, you're in the portion of the race where you're kind of pacing yourself, saving something for a late race run. Speaking of runs, how about Jake Sheridan in the 52 machine? After that spin to bring out the last yellow, he's working his way through the traffic. They look to have that car dialed in just a little better for him.
Brandon Watson once again now is able to see the back of the field when he comes out of the corner. And Piper Adams got sideways in corner 2. That would be the first car the leader can see right now through the windshield as Piper Adams in the 70 as Brandon Watson bearing down on the tail end of the field.
Piper is learning the limits of stock car racing right here. You know, you have to get the car out of shape to know how far you can push it. He's done that a couple of times this afternoon.
Good action throughout the field as some side-by-side racing in front of the leaders, and we've seen that much the afternoon. Gary Adrianson's back there with Tyler DiVincenzo and Tom Gibbons in the mix as well, but they're going to have some company shortly as Brandon Watson setting a torrid pace here in this one. He's kept a good size advantage over Joe Lawrence throughout the running of this Dayco 75. But it's Pete Shepard and DJ Kennington. You kind of wonder, they kind of look like they might be on a little bit of cruise control, riding around as the pressure now is behind them. Trayton Lapsovich feeling it from Matt Pritico.
Yeah, Lapsovich under attack from Matt Pritico and Shake Gemmel. Pritico's driven to the inside in 1 and 2. Trying to get on the throttle, but he just couldn't keep the car to the inside, so he'll drive it again down into turn 3. Get up to the driver's door of the 32 with Trayton Lapsovich.
Shane Gemmel right there on the back end of the Global Warranty 21 of Matt Pritico as they look to get to the inside of Trayton Lapsovich. He's doing a good job holding his own on the outside, and shaping up behind them is a side-by-side battle between J.R. Fitzpatrick and Blair Wickett. Wickett down to the inside of the 84, and J.R. seems to be drifting back.
Yeah, nice move by Blair Wickett. That lights buster number 97.
Oh, Matt Pritico. Is that Pritico? Oh, no, it's not.
Brandon
it's
Watson.
Piper Adams.
Piper Adams, but Brandon Watson got slowed up big time over there.
Looked up, and all I saw was the black car up and around as we were watching a little deeper in the field, and it was Piper Adams that went around right in front of the leader. Comes to a rest to the high side of corner number 2, and it puts us back under the caution flag with 44 laps complete here in the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil. Let's have a look.
So we got Brandon Watson going into the corner. Yeah, right in front of him is Piper Adams. Oh, my goodness.
I didn't realize it was that close.
Brandon Watson, show that again, Spencer. He locked up those front tires, so definitely could have flat spotted his tires out there. If we're able to show that same replay and go into a real slow-mo just as he approaches the 70 machine. Watch the front tires on the 9.
Wow. Yeah, oh, yeah, he locked him up for a good stretch there.
Now, a lot of drivers would have kept him locked up and hit the 70 right in the left front.
Yeah.
Brandon Watson has the experience to know you've got to get off the brakes let the car turn, but that's a long time to have the front tires locked up. Clinton Jeffrey, what do you got?
Well, Gary Adrianson down here, they're working on this car. They have had the stagger gauge out as well, and now they're going to make a tire change here. That's the quickest way to change the stagger and change the handling on this car, guys. And right behind them, don't turn around, Maverick, but Tim Norris back in for some issues on his car. Once again, they're looking at the rear suspension on that car, as we'll follow the 55 of Adrianson here as they make these changes, guys.
Clint, you're going to want to have a look at the left rear tire that comes off. See if there's any imperfections on it. See if the tire is split at all, because they're supposed to run the same 4 tires for qualifying in the race. You can't use emergency tires, so have a look at the left rear that came off the car. Just see if there's any blisters or... Yep.
Well, you guys asked for it. Here's the tire damage. Cuts here, Maverick. You got all kinds of problems here. This tire needed issues, guys, and you can imagine. You can see it, and it is smoking hot.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Good work there, Clinton. And I mean, for a driver to know that, I'm not sure how that's possible. J.R. Fitzpatrick in the pits as well. Clinton, this time I feel bad for making you head down to turn 1, but you'll want to follow up on J.R. Fitzpatrick. He was an early race favorite for sure, as the hood going up on the Meineke Car Care Center, number 84. Ted McAllister down at the left rear of that machine. Okay, taking air out of the left rear, so adding some stagger to that race car, making some adjustments. And JR is the type of driver, if he's not in the top 5, he thinks if they made an adjustment they could make the car faster, he'll do it and drive through. Clint, what do you got?
Well, we got the crew here from Adrianson. Adam asked, how did he know? How could he know the tire was cut? Did he say anything, or how did he give you that indication that he had that problem?
The car was handling pretty loose, so we knew that there was something wrong, so we thought he'd just come in and play it safe.
And you found the tire?
Yes, we did.
Good lucky call to bring him in, and it pays off, guys.
Well, it's smart to be lucky, and you're lucky if you're smart or something like that. I don't know. That sounded better in my head before it fell out. But
you're neither.
Sitting next to you, I feel neither. Bring it down pit road, that definitely could have been a big problem.
It's Piper Adams also in the pit area, and the driver that brought out this caution flag, and watching that replay of Brandon Watson, we're going to see it again. Now watch the car. Watch Brandon's reaction. You'll see he thinks, do I go to the right? Because he'll make that move right there. He starts veering to the right, and then no, I don't want to be all the way up there because he's sliding.
Well, and
wow, that was close.
That's where a veteran says, so Piper Adams, and I remember reading an article in Circle Track magazine 100 years ago, but Rusty Wallace said, whenever I would lose it coming off the corner, I would jump on the gas because there's always less to hit on the infield than there is on the outside. Brandon Watson may have expected Piper Adams to light up those tires and spin himself to the inside, so he was kind of driving both cars at the same time. The other thing to keep in mind, and Spencer, feel free to show the replay again, where he was in the turn from the center of the turn, what makes the car's corner is the stagger, the setup on the car, and the throttle. You have to hit the gas to make the car turn. And the last thing you want to do when there's a car sideways in front of you is hit the gas. But, you know, you have to do the things that the car wants to do to get around that end.
It was a close call. That would have been a perfect bumper cam shot. We'll take a different look at it here. We may get a better idea how close this was right here. Oh, just out of the shot.
The closing rate was,
wow.
You could see how fast he was catching. Joe Lawrence got a little sideways as well in that mishap, but good heads-up driving by these drivers. And good work by our camera crews.
Sean McGlynn's been on pit road there. We see in the number 1. And some drivers at the back that are going to have some work to do. Some drivers at the back you don't expect to be at the back. Andrew Gressel is still trying to make his way through the field. J.R. Fitzpatrick, you noted he was on pit road. He's back there at the back of the pack as well on this restart.
Dale Shaw must have come into the pits.
Just going to say Dale Shaw back there, former champion also. Not where you expect to see him.
He did not feel good about his race car. I talked to him earlier on today. He just wasn't happy with it. I said, do you think you can get it working? He says, I don't think so. So they'll go back to the drawing board, though. I'm really curious to see what kind of support the series get when it goes to Solo, when it goes to Flanders. I mean, I don't expect 32 cars at those races, Greg, but there's a couple of cars that aren't here today that they don't like the big track, but they do like the short track. So I think we'll have pretty healthy car counts for those events.
You can see them all right here on GForceTV. Make sure while you're watching to click that subscribe button down below the video screen and hit the notification ringer so that you get notifications on your device when we are live with content. White flag is out next time by. We'll come back at it with Brandon Watson, Joe Lawrence, restarting on that front row. Pete Shepard, DJ Kennington back in row 2. Trayton Lapsovich, Matt Pertico row 4, and Shea Gemmel and Blair Wickett back in row 5. What?
70 of Piper Adams, and look, it's another left rear with all kinds of cuts. They've circled all the problems in this tire. They go all the way around, guys. Lots of problems with left rear on these cars tonight.
Well, and again, 40-plus laps into a run, if you don't have the car balanced the way it needs to be balanced, you can run into some tire troubles. We're going to watch for Brandon Watson and see how the front tires hold up after having them locked up for as long as he did. We're back under green here at Jukasa Motor Speedway with 31 laps to go.
Things bunched up a little bit mid-pack there as Jake Sheridan kind of slipped down to the inside, but everything straight and clear down the backstretch. They're 2x2 behind the top two.
DJ Kennington trying to keep Pete Shepard pinned to the inside to pick up that third spot, but Pete Shepard, every bit the veteran, using as much racetrack as he can as we got a couple of cars getting shuffled out. Josh Stoddy got moved up the racetrack. That puts him 3 wide with Lane Zardo in the middle. Ray Morneau on the inside, still 3 wide through 3 and 4.
Shepard, Pertico, door to door as they cross the stripe that time by. That's the battle for the 4th position. And you've got Gemmel back there with Trayton Lapsovich side by side. And I'll tell you what, things are heating up about mid-pack on back. Some of those name drivers that we mentioned are starting to realize laps are dwindling down. It's time to get their way through the field.
You got the comers and you got the goers, and they meet in the middle, so you got a lot of speed back there as J.R. Fitzpatrick weaving through traffic. Dale Shaw just makes a move to the inside. I'm not even sure who that was on. Jason Lidster in the 11. They made some contact down in turn number 1.
How about Joe Lawrence in that second spot? He's out with Brandon Watson. He's right there on the back bumper in that APC Pennzoil number 78. He's right there with Brandon Watson. We haven't seen much of that all afternoon.
No, we sure haven't. Watson picks up about a half car length going into the corner, but through the center is where Joe Lawrence seems to be a little quicker than the 9 machine.
49 laps complete. Next time by will be 25 laps left to go with Lawrence trailing Brandon Watson. Then behind them you've got DJ Kennington kind of ready there to pounce in the 3rd position. And Matt Pertico, nice job by him. He's gathered things back up and back up into the 4th position.
He's been thrown into the fire a couple of times today and had some heated battles for position, but he's still up there fighting. In the 4th spot, Pete Shepard has settled back into 5th, dropped back a handful of car lanes off of Pertico, and he's got Shea Gemmel right on his back bumper.
Watson and Lawrence, 1 and 2 across the line. And then we see some of this other racing action going on mid-pack right now as Pete Shepard and Shea Gemmel go nose to tail off of corner number 2. Gemmel's been putting the pressure on.
The other battle I'm watching is J.R. Fitzpatrick versus everybody he comes near. He is working through the field now. He just got around Stoddy. Now he's up behind Darrell Lake in the 77, so we'll try to make a move on him. At the front, Joe Lawrence right on the back bumper of Brandon Watson.
They dive down into corner number 3. Brandon Watson out in front. Lawrence now just a lane lower, taking a look to the inside of the 9 of Brandon Watson. DJ Kennington, Matt Pertico lined up behind them.
Joe Lawrence, a lower line off of turn 2, and I was standing down there in practice, and I watched Brandon Watson out in front of Trayton Lapsovich. And Watson was letting the car release off of turn 2 towards the wall much earlier than Lapsovich. He had a different line than most of the cars out there. Obviously, Brandon Watson knows his way around this place. But now I'm watching Joe Lawrence run the same line that Trayton Lapsovich was in practice behind Brandon Watson, and he seems to be picking up speed on it.
55 laps now go on the scoreboard. 20 to go here in the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil, and it's the Pennzoil driver in that second spot that is flexing the most muscle. He's staying tight with Brandon Watson, and maybe looks as though he might have the faster car. You wonder, did locking up those tires affect Brandon Watson on that previous caution?
You do have to wonder, and we may just find out as this race goes on. Here goes Lawrence to the inside of Watson down the back straightaway.
Into corner number 3, Lawrence will take the top spot. Brandon Watson tucks right in behind. Now he'll switch down to the inside lane. As they go down into corner number 1, they're going to be door to door.
Beautiful crossover by Watson, but what he missed, and I talked about it earlier, when you drive it down the inside, you've got to clear the driver or you're pinned to the bottom. Joe Lawrence almost cleared him down into 3. Watson couldn't clear him into 1. Give the lead to Joe Lawrence. Great move by the driver of the 78.
And while that happened, the gap closed back to the 3rd spot. DJ Kennington and Matt Perdico, I think, sense that as well as he begins to put the pressure on the Castrol Edge number 28 as they close the gap now on the top 2.
It's time to go. It is time to not hold back at all. You've got what you've got, and with 16 laps to go till the end, you've got to get where you're going. Pick up every spot you can, Greg.
Talking about drivers picking up spots, J.R. Fitzpatrick has worked his way up into the 14th position, but a long ways to go and a short time to get there as the battle for 3rd heats up there side by side.
Matt Perdico down low, DJ Kennington up high. They race into turn number 1. DJ giving lots of room to Matt Perdico, keeping that high line, keeping his momentum, but Perdico really got through the center of 1 and 2 well. Got a good run down into 3.
Joe Lawrence across the line will complete lap number 61 with Brandon Watson in tow. Then it's side by side. That's the battle for 3rd. Matt Perdico on the bottom, DJ Kennington on the outside. You've got a regular in the NASCAR Pinty Series in that number 28, and the defending champion of the APC Series on the inside in Matt Perdico.
Perdico clears DJ Kennington in turn 4, slides up in front of the 28. There was not a lot of room to slide up in front of Kennington there, but Matt Perdico felt there was enough. A driver-spotter combination is very, very important in late model racing.
Now, the leaders are beginning to catch the back end of the field, and there's quite a number of cars back there and some quality cars as well, as we're down to 12 laps left to go here in the Dayco 75, but definitely these leaders are going to be in some traffic before it's over.
Yeah, you definitely think they will be, as Josh Stoddy on the inside of Patrick Friel down in 1 and 2. Right behind them is Piper Adams, Gary Adrianson, Sean McGlynn. There are battles all the way around this racetrack, Greg.
The gap closes from the leaders to the back of the pack. There you see the differential between Joe Lawrence and Brandon Watson, and once the pass was made, Lawrence was able to stretch it just a little bit, and now the gap back to 3rd is expanded as well, so the top 2 definitely running quicker than those behind them.
And the traffic is looming. They are closing in on that slower traffic, just as you mentioned. Looks like Tyler DiVincenzo is going to be the first car they approach. He's already moved down to the inside to get out of the way. The next one in line will be Brian Mercer.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a matter of trying to passing these cars. Look at what happened to Brandon Watson. It was a car at the back of the pack that spun in front of him that may have affected the tires when he locked it up, that cost him a potential win in this. As we watch one go up in smoke in the backstretch, Jake Sheridan still running up to some speed but showing smoke.
Yeah, he's kind of pulled down to the bottom of the racetrack. The smoke is getting heavier and heavier out of that 52.
Keep an eye on him and see if he can keep the car under him.
Yeah, he'll pull right down to the bottom out of the way. He's going to bring that car to the pits. So, tough day for Jake Sheridan.
This time by, it'll be 6 laps left to go, side by side, right in front of the leader. It's Andrew Gressel and Tom Gibbons.
Joe Lawrence closes in. He's boxed in right now. Tom Gibbons on the inside. Now Tom will give way. Tom gives way. It leaves only Andrew Gressel. Looks like Gressel drives down into 3, drops to the bottom of the racetrack, and leaves room for Joe Lawrence to get around. But that allowed Brandon Watson to close in just a little bit.
70 laps on the board of the scheduled 75 here in the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil. Joe Lawrence out in front. Brandon Watson was not able to gain ground that time by through the lap traffic, but he's catching the big pack right now, and he's going to catch this storm right about closing time.
Yeah, it's going to get heated because they are racing hard right in front of him. One of the cars in that mix is Piper Adams, who's had his share of trouble in this race, particularly in turn 2. He's got out of shape in turn 2 a few times. Whoa, and he's out of shape in turn 4.
Wow. Oh, contact there with Gary Adrianson. All of this right in front of the leaders. Adrianson to the inside of Piper Adams as the leaders bear down now on Tim Norris in the 88.
And this is where your spotter, if you're Joe Lawrence's spotter, you've got to guide him through traffic, but you've also got to get him a heads up. Hey, the black 70 up ahead of you. He's having some problems today. Oh, contact between Lidster and Piper Adams right in front of Joe Lawrence, the leader. Piper Adams up out of the groove towards the outside wall. He's able to keep it off the wall as laps continue to wind down.
This time by, the white flag is out for Joe Lawrence. He's tucked in behind Jason Lidster. 2 lap cars between he and Brandon Watson as they look to close out the final lap here.
And I think we'll see Joe Lawrence just check up and cruise behind this traffic. One eye on the rearview mirror, one eye in front of him on Jason Lidster as he closes in, but the checkered flags are in the air, and Joe Lawrence will take the win. Brandon Watson comes home second, Matt Pritico, DJ Kennington, Pete Shepard, Shea Gemmel, Trayton Lapsevich, Blair Wickett. What a run for Matt Box in the 27. He was involved in a mishap earlier on, was smoking for a few laps, and survives for a top 10 finish.
That final restart was all Joe Lawrence needed, and he got by Brandon Watson and picks up the win in the APC Pennzoil number 78. He'll grab the checkered flag and we'll do the victory lap here at Jukasa Motor Speedway, the winner of the Dayco 75, presented by Pennzoil. As he celebrates around the track, we'll go down to victory lane in just a moment with Clinton Jeffrey to catch up with the top 3. Joe Lawrence, your winner. Brandon Watson, second. Matt Pritico, third. DJ Kennington across the line, and fourth, Pete Shepard, fifth. 6th was Shea Gemmel. 7th, Trayton Lapsevich. 8th is where we find Blair Wickett. 9th, Matt Box. And 10th, Travis Halliburton. 11th was Ryan Kimball. 12th, Shane McGinnis. 13th, J.R. Fitzpatrick. 14th, Ray Morneau. 15th, Darrell Lake. 16th, Dale Shaw. 17th, Josh Stoddy. 18th, Patrick Friel. 19th, Gary Adrianson. 20th is Sean McGlynn. 21st, Jason Lidster. 22nd, Tim Norris. 23rd, Andrew Gressel. 24th, Tom Gibbons. 25th, Brian Mercer. 26th, Tyler DiVincenzo. 27th, Piper Adams. 28th, Lane Zardo. 29th, Jake Sheridan. 30th, Sean Chenoweth. And 31st, Carson Nagy. As Joe Lawrence parks his Pennzoil number 78 down to victory lane, let's send it down to Clinton Jeffrey.
Thanks a lot, Greg. As we get ready to go, we'll talk to Joe Lawrence, Watson, and of course Pritico, the top 3 down here tonight. And we'll get ready to talk to them as a crew in there, getting ready to say congrats to their driver. He'll get the mask on and take a quick breather and work his way out here so we can have a talk with him as he makes his way into APC Epic Raceway Victory Lane here tonight.
Get all prettied up, Joe. Make her look good.
So Lawrence will work on getting the helmet off. He's got the belts off. We'll get him out here and have a word with him in just a moment in this gorgeous Pennzoil machine. So give Joe a second to grab a quick drink here and get his glasses on, his mask and a hat. Here he works his way out. How about it, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and those watching at home, for your winner tonight, Joe Lawrence, as he makes his way out of the 78 car. Hey, Joe, what a great run for you. You got to be real happy with how your car won. You just kind of walked through these guys. Watson's always tough here. You had to work your way up through the pack, though.
Yes, it was a great race. We talked about what we wanted to do at the beginning. We didn't really feel these tires were going to last at the pace we were doing in qualifying, so we opted as a team to just decide to hit our marks, keep the car under us, wait till the end and try and be there, and it was there. It was awesome.
There was a lot of other cars with left rear probs and tires. Did the crew give you any of those indications?
When we came here, we kind of knew what was going on. American Racer gave us good info, let us know what's up. So props to them. They gave us the best they can under the conditions, so I got to thank them so much for being a part of us going racing. Obviously, APC, Pennzoil, they're what put this car together. MRE chassis, it's a rocket ship, and I got to thank everyone who is a part of it.
You paid them back with a great drive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Joe Lawrence gets the feature win sticker. We'll get over here and talk to Brandon Watson. Well, Brandon, you've had a hell of a record here. I mean, a lot of second places if you're not in victory lane. Got to be a bit disappointing because you were one of the faster cars. And how'd this race get away from you? Was it a setup thing? Was it Joe working on the tires a bit better? How'd he get by you?
Unfortunately, just I think we missed the setup a little bit. This car is amazing. McCall does a great job. You can see the top three here, but I think we just missed a little bit. We were loose off the start. Just tried to keep the tires on the car. I knew Joe was going to be good at the end. I figured he was saving a little bit, so we just tried to hold on as long as we could. Unfortunately, I almost got into some trouble over there. Locked up the tires. Might have flat them a bit, but overall we had a good car. I can't thank everyone enough. Great Lakes Concrete, Sheer Metal Products, Barry Frame Alignment, McCall Racing Enterprises, and Redline Apparel.
That was the question that you guys in the booth said. Do you think he might have damaged those tires? Could you feel a difference after you had to lock it up?
I definitely felt it during the caution. I'm not sure if it's just the track. I'm pretty sure I felt it before, but during the race I didn't notice it too much. I'm not sure it affected the handling of the car or not, but I think the car just, like I said, was loose off the start a little bit, and we couldn't quite hold on long enough, and Joe had a good car there, so we couldn't hold him off.
We're at the racetrack and you're second, so not all bad.
Yeah, it's definitely great.
We have a Brandon Watson. We'll finish second. We'll get Matt Pritico in here. Matt, solid drive for you. You know, you got a lot of success in this tour. What's your thoughts on third today? Can you be happy with that? Of course, we're back at the Speedway, so that's a good thing. Can you go away a little bit pleased?
Yeah, no, I'm super happy with the third place finish. Qualified third, pulled a fifth pill and started fifth. Went back and forth a couple times and battled hard with some drivers. Had a great time out there. The Global Warranty 21 Toyota Town Camera was real stout. Really had to pedal at the end. Really not a lot of tire left on this car, but really pleased with the result. I hope Global Warranty's happy, and looking forward to the next race.
Congrats. There you have it. Matt Pritico finished third, guys. And tires, a bit of the story here today. It looks like 75 laps might have been the perfect amount, gentlemen, to keep these cars strategically in place and working things into victory lane. Back up to you guys. That'll do it here for victory lane for our top three, Matt Pritico, Brandon Watson, and Joe Lawrence, guys.
Adam, a good afternoon of racing here at Jukasa Motor Speedway. We got to see everything we asked for, and I'm excited about where we're headed here with the APC Series.
I thought you meant you were headed to a buffet. I thought that was your excitement, but I'm with you. It's a great looking series. It's a well-run series. The cars look great. We started 31 cars, Greg, and look up and down pit road. There's a couple of rubber marks on doors, but by and large, we didn't knock a clip off a car. And knock on wood, it can always happen, but we've got a full arsenal of equipment to head up to Sauble Speedway for the drivers that choose to follow the tour and run that. And I think it's a great opportunity for these teams to showcase their sponsors, for APC to do what it has set out to do. Just a great day all around.
And, yeah, we'll be back up in action at the Sauble Speedway on Saturday, August the 22nd, right here on GForceTV.net for the Stewart's 100 presented by Quaker State. And then on Saturday, September the 12th, we'll head to the Flamborough Speedway for the London Recreational Racing 100 presented by Shell Rotella. And then we're right back here at Jukasa Motor Speedway on Saturday, September 26th for Twin 75s. Pennzoil presents the Spectre Premium 75s Saturday, September the 26th. Mark your calendars, and again, if you're watching on GeForce TV, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the notification ringer, so that you don't miss any of the action here on GeForce TV. So that will wrap things up from here at Jukasa Motor Speedway. I want to thank all of our camera crew and, most importantly, all you, the fans that tuned in here this afternoon to watch this great racing action from the crown jewel of Canada. On behalf of Clinton Jeffrey down trackside and Adam Ross, my name's Greg Kelman saying so long. We'll see you next time on GeForce TV.